Welcome to the PokerStars Arena, home to the world's biggest online tournaments and events, including SCOOP 2021. Yes, for the first time ever, we're bringing you live cards-up coverage of the Spring Championship of Online Poker, starting tonight with the 10K High Roller. Hello everyone, I'm James Hartigan alongside Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my super duper scooper babies.
I like it. Scoop now in its 13th year, long established as one of the most prestigious online series in the poker calendar, also one of the richest, but also accessible. This is the series that introduced tiered buy-ins, a format that we now see copied across the board. And I know it's something close to your heart, Joe. This year is the 10th anniversary of when you went inside Scoop.
Yes, it's also the 9 and 10 months anniversary of Inside Scoop being canceled. So, you know.
Let's focus on the positive. Over the last decade and a bit, Scoop has put up some very impressive numbers. If we look at the first 12 iterations, here's where things stood coming into yesterday. More than 1,900 tournaments played, attracting more than 9.2 million entries. Total prize money of $999 million, with 151 million of that going to winners. Well, let's talk to the person who spent his Easter break pulling together those stats. It's our Scoop correspondent, Howard Swains from the PokerStars blog. And Howard, 24 hours into this year's series, key question, have we hit the $1 billion mark?
We have. So we had 18 tournaments starting last night. Even though only 3 finished, there was $1 million in prize pool from those 3 tournaments, which means from 12 years and 1 night, we have passed $1 billion for Scoop tournaments.
Wow.
Awesome. PokerStars, over 1 billion. I think somebody might have that catchphrase already. Howard, how long have you actually been covering Scoop?
I'm kind of sorry to say I've been here from the beginning. So, I mean, not all the time. I do other things, but I've been there from the word go, yeah.
All right, awesome. And I guess now there is a right and wrong answer to this. What has been your personal highlight?
Well, it's too hard. It's too difficult to choose just one. There was the first year when Terence Chan won 2 events in 1 night. That was incredible.
That's right, yes.
There was also 2013 when Stephen Chidwick won the medium player of the series. So he's now a super high roller, but back then he was a medium ranking player. And then last year, Conor Drynan won 5 events. I kept logging on in the morning, seeing another one for Drynan. And I was thinking, have we been here before? I can't believe he's done it again. But that was another incredible highlight, 5 in 1 year.
Did he get it? Were those correct? They were correct. Those were your personal highlights. He did it.
And I'm sure there'll be many more highlights from this year's series, Howard. We're going to check in with you pretty much every single day to get the top line stories and the top line stats. And of course, once we're a few days in, once we're a week into the series, we have to track the 2021 player of the series competition. But for now, we urge everyone to read your words on the PokerStarsblog.com, and we say thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
So yes, this is officially day 2 of Scoop 2021. As Howard just mentioned, 3 games in the book so far, many more concluding tonight. 14,500 entries, more than $1 million in prize money, 160K paid to winners. And we are starting our coverage with the final table of event 6, the 10K High Roller. It started yesterday, it concludes tonight. 9 remain from the 116 who started. Many of the High Roller regs here, headlined by Laszlo Bush, who has the chip lead with a 129 big blind stack. And here's what they are playing for at the final table. With 9 players remaining, everyone is guaranteed more than 33,700, nearly 200K to the runner-up, and more than $250,000 to the winner. And joining us to analyze the action this evening is the man they call the Squid. Sam Grafton, are you ready for this stacked final table to play down to a winner?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a few nerves, I've got to say. This is quite an intimidating lineup to even commentate on, let alone to compete at. I mean, all big names 1 through 9. And yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting to watch how it plays out. How are you boys? All good?
Oh,
we're good. So,
I have no
just to be
nerves
clear,
about
Sam,
this
you
because
have-
no one expects me to know anything.
You can
have
just sit back and
relocated.
enjoy, Joe. That's the dream. You could just,
So, Sam,
you know.
you have relocated to Brazil. You've already started
Yes.
growing back the beard. You've got your kind of like south of the border shirt on, and you already have a tan. How is this possible?
I know Joe needed some material. I tried to burn my forehead on the beach in order to give Joe, but I didn't quite. I'm sure one day I will come in with a nose that's bright red. So
here we
crown
go.
up guy. Wow.
Yeah. First
Loris
hand of
nailing.
the final table, blind v blind, and Fedor raised it with 7-4. Loris L91 just calling with 8-7 and flopping 2 pair. Fedor with second pair.
Fedor got second last night in the Scoop Turbo.
Yeah.
I saw him. I was watching my boy Max Silva on that final and let it play out. I thought Fedor was going to make a comeback heads up and claim his one of the first titles of the series.
Well, Lorinus Levinskas makes it 31K. And I'm guessing...
Sam, do you ever just
Fedor
find yourself super frustrated in these blind up blind situations? Wow.
Oh, it's a setup, ladies and gentlemen. Now Fedor improves to a worse 2 pair. And considering that Levin's 171K behind, I think it's fairly obvious how this is going to play out.
Yeah, both players, I mean, crown up guy going to feel very, very happy with the strength of his hand right now. We can imagine all the draws Loris is going to have here, as well as strong top pairs. In a way, this 2 pair is really nice to unblock the 8. You know, you want your opponent to have 8x. And I don't think the spade will make that much difference with this SPR.
Fedor thinking about it.
That's actually a good question. Is Fedor thinking about it, or is Fedor just waiting?
I think he's just balancing his timings and will go for value here. Probably with the all-in sizing, yeah.
Yeah. And the quick call all in and the double up for Loris, who came into this final table as the short stack and gets the full double up on the first hand of the day. This is the qualifier, by the way, Lorinus Levinskas, who actually won his seat in this 10K via a 1K satellite on the 4th.
Nice, nice. I think Loris probably would have played it. This isn't a 0 to hero story, sadly, is a high stakes regular. And, you know, we will,
Sam,
through the
don't
course...
ruin the narrative. He's the people's hero. He played a 1K and now he's in a 10K and playing for $250,000.
He's a house husband from, you know, from a small town in Lithuania. This is, we don't know, this may be his first ever tournament.
Well, it's pocket rockets for Simon Matson, C. Darwin 2. You know the old John Ford adage, if stuck between telling the truth and the legend, tell the legend.
There we go. Sage advice from James Hartigan. That's why he steers the ship.
Via John Ford. So Samuel Woosden, European in the small blind with King Queen offsuit flats, and Mike Adamo, unluck box in the big.
Yeah, obviously King Queen does fine against an opening range, even an under the gun opening range. But obviously in this instance, wanting my boy Sam to avoid getting into trouble. Not sure. Oh, Mike's disconnected.
By the way, Sam, I know you love your hashtag fun fact. You mentioned that Fedor came close to winning a scoop last night and eventually came second in Event 7, the Turbo. Fedor does have a scoop win from 2015. Do you know what it was in?
The main. The main?
Oh,
no, that was the WCOOP main the year before. This is great.
Know your
It
coops,
was
Grafton.
Sorry, I mean, how good was your blogger? I was loving those facts he was dropping. I'm not sure. Some kind of luck box turbo. No.
Okay, no,
Fedor.
Sam, I'm going to give you a hint. It's one step up from Uno.
I don't know. Go on, tell me. What was it?
It was event number 8, the low buy-in version. So it was a $27 buy-in, and it was no limit draw, and Fedor won it for $7K.
One step up from Uno.
Wow, that's remarkable. Must have been a grinder back then. So, bad news for C. Darwin, good news for European, as he doesn't connect with this flop. I guess we have a lot of regulars at this point who will recognize names, but C. Darwin obviously was #1 in the world on Pocket Fives for a huge length of time. I know they're doing a sort of head-to-head challenge. He'll be one of the people that will run the deepest in that. Really had an era all to himself, him and Lena battling at 1 and 2 on the Pocket Fives rankings for a long time. No surprise.
Are they different
to see
people
him at this final? Who knows? Who knows? I've
I
never
just
seen
always
them both
assumed they
in
were
the same
person.
place at the same time.
Yeah.
I think Lena might be a bit younger. That's my impression. I remember Darwin from like back in the day, whereas I don't know about Lena.
Oh, that back in the day. He means like 2015.
You remember
Well,
C. Darwin's Origin of Species?
Yes, I remember he was on the Beagle. So I'm Luckbox. Michael Adamo, 3 betting here. Obviously has a fearsome reputation, known as one of the most aggressive players in the world. And someone, if you were to ask players who is #1 in the world, who is the best tournament player in the world, of course, it's hard to exactly pin down. He is a name that would come up again and again, I guarantee. If you were to ask these 9 players, who's the top dog right now? For a long time, there was a consensus about Ivy, Stephen Chidwick. For a long time, I think I'm Luckbox. Mike, he's gone for it.
Wow, Woosden shoves light with King 5, gets snapped by Ace Queen, and there is Barry Greenstein, the ace on the river, which gives I'm Luckbox the win and sees the elimination of European Samuel Woosden, first player out, cashing in 9th for $33,766. And just like that, we're down to 8.
By the way, I just want to let everyone know, Ace Queen suited holds in 10Ks. Nowhere else. All the tournaments we play in, us regular people, no. They spike the king or the 5. But when you play 10Ks, Ace Queen holds.
Yeah.
Something to aspire to.
It's also that if you get it in with Ace Queen in some tournaments, they're going to show you a better hand always. Whereas fortunately in high buy-ins like this, sometimes they show you the King 5 suited, See Darwin with a double gut shot. 9 would be pretty much the nuts, and King obviously the exact nuts. Also the best hand at the moment. Going to be interesting to see the different approaches of the players on this final as well. I think a lot of different sort of stylistic approaches. Omaha for rolls, Laszlo, someone who goes his own way, I think. Very, very aggressive, very, very strong players. One of the strongest Instagram games. If you want to check out the
I do.
RG lifestyle, I would recommend taking a peek. Definitely someone with a bit of swag. I know Joe Stapleton appreciates that.
I love it. I want to look it up right now. What do I search for?
15,000, 30,000 blinds. We get the open from Dominic Nitscher with Ace King, and I'm interested to see how our chip leader Our Instagram star, Laszlo Bujtas, responds with 10s in the small blind. Oh, we got the flat from Darwin.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, these are just two big hands, especially when Darwin puts in a flat here. Omaha for rolls going to be incentivized to squeeze a little bit lighter. And Dom, not really with any fold equity, but with a very strong hand. Also the shortest.
This guy's cut from marble.
Eases the pressure on him. Will he put it in here?
If he does, chances are we see Simon Matson fold and we are off to the races. Yeah, we are going to have our first coin flip of the final table, and there's a 10 on the flop, and it's over on the turn, and Dominic Nitsche is eliminated in 8th place by the chip leader, Dominic cashing for $42,615. Everyone else now guaranteed $55K with 7 players remaining. A reminder, there were 89 unique players, 27 re-entries, a total prize pool in this event of $1.16 million.
And we're off to a very fast start, hey, James. 2 players down in just the opening 10 minutes. Anyone who tuned in late, really, really quick. And these guys going to be playing a bit deeper now. I mean, obviously, still Maratha, crown up guy with 20-odd big blind stacks. And as we've seen, these stacks do go in at high stakes.
So this is Matson versus Holtz, and Fedor has top pair on the flop, 91% equity.
Obviously, there won't be
Matson,
as much. Sorry, there won't be that much nerves for these guys. Obviously, they're all super, super experienced. But I think even as a high stakes player, you know, it's nice feeling when you have all night and all morning to think about this tournament coming up. Really nice feeling when you ladder up 2 spots immediately. Someone like Maratha not played a hand. You move up the pay jumps. Really, really nice feeling when the short stacks bust.
We got rockets again. This time it's the chip leader. Omaha for rolls. Laszlo with the bullets. He is a 2-time Scoop winner. Again, a no-limit draw winner. That was back in 2016. And in 2019, won a 6 max PLO event for $83K. And funnily enough, Ace is still good post-flop.
Grafton wasn't kidding about the Instagram, by the way.
I assume he is really good at Omaha. That's just my feeling. If you call yourself Omaha for rolls, I just assume that's your main game. Like, I can believe Laszlo's actually taken on a few people for their roles, you know? I don't think it's just smacked. Wow.
Oh.
What a turn card out of nowhere.
Yes, suddenly Mike Adamo improves to trip 8s, and things not looking so good for Laszlo. And yes, to confirm your point, Sam, when we covered WCOOP last year and streamed a few PLO events, I'm pretty sure that Laszlo was at the final table of at least one of them.
Yeah, and I'm Luckbox checking the ace-8. The ace sort of blocking the hands that check back the turn. And Laszlo going for some value and protection against these gut shots. Will Michael check raise now? I think he will go for it with a big, big sizing. And this is a difficult spot now for Omaha for rolls. He's saying he can beat aces. And this isn't a hand that can improve. It's not like a queen jack or 9-10 that can improve on a river. And Michael now with a stack he can put in on the river. Just balancing his timings, thinking through. I would imagine the sizing is jam, but Michael will be weighing it up. What does his range want to do? Does go for it.
Nearly all.
What do you think? What do you think, Joe? You think he's going to call here? Omaha for rolls?
I think Omaha for folds. That's my call right now.
Omaha for
I think
folds.
we get
Joe
the call.
Stapleton calling it. Michael is a real hard person to fold against. That's the thing. I mean, Laszlo's thinking through his opening range. What eight
Well,
does
there
he
it is.
open from that position? And there you go.
Well, there is the call, creating the biggest pot of this 10K so far and a change in the chip lead. I'm Luckbox, now number one on the leaderboard with nearly 3.5 million. And guess what, guys? We may only be 20 minutes into Scoop 2021, but we're already bringing out the quad box. We're adding another commentator. Please welcome Parker Talbot. Tonka is with us in the arena.
Hello.
What's
There
up,
I am.
Tonks? Hey, buddy.
How's it going, guys? How's it going? I was sat there for the majority of that hand. I was wondering if I was going to get to join at any point, but here I am. Was that not the most incredible hand
Sorry.
you've ever seen, by the way?
He's just a boss. But the thing is, imagine being Michael and just knowing it's fine. I can put it all in. I can induce with any hand, and I know I'm going to get action. It's
And
like
I'm
no one.
always going to get paid.
I've just spent 4 years building a reputation when no one can fold to me. It's just like I can just shovel it in. It's absolutely awesome.
You know how we had that
is this
two-pair
another?
versus two-pair setup on the first hand? Well, it's kind of playing out again.
This is final table is moving fast. My goodness. Two pair first hand, and then multiple other coolers since then.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm going to head to the beach.
But somehow there's been not a single bet put in. Is that correct?
Yes. You are correct.
So, it's strange. They have some good hands.
Yeah, Loris.
Somehow,
Calling in.
Simon Matson gets away with losing the minimum there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cornelius Darwin, as I like to call him, absolutely gets off scot-free. We had quite the running joke on my channel back in the day of trying to find out what the C stands for in C Darwin. There's been some really good submissions over the years.
So no one just went for the obvious answer, which would be Charles. There had to be more of a story to it than actually being the name of Darwin.
Of Charles Darwin. Well, he has an avatar of Charles Darwin as well, which is that's where you
it's
really
just meant to throw you off.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the throw. That's the. But no, we definitely settled on Cornelius.
Loris, that's a picture of himself, right?
Yeah, he's had
I
that
really
for a
hope so.
very long time as well.
But it looks like it's like a stock
it is.
photo. You know when you see a guy in a, advertising office chairs or something like that. It looks like
No,
not like you
it's a
just
classic
captured
school
one.
graduation photo.
right. Okay.
I mean, it looks like a stock photo that he could have actually just taken for his avatar. I mean, he's not affiliated with the poker site, and he put up a PokerStars Pro avatar, and this is 6 years ago or something, and he's left it ever since.
I like people like Darwin and Loris though that have the same avatar and just keep it for 10 years. I think that's
Forever, yeah.
And Omaha for rolls going for it on this river. This is another player that deserves to get paid. Omaha for rolls. He's another character that does not slow down.
Yeah, he really does.
Loris.
And he probably will get paid.
Obviously, you kind of want a 7 or 8 in your hand. That would be ideal. Does fold Omaha
Wow.
for rolls, getting it through. Mate, I saw you had a big stack in the 2K, in the 2K Turbo. Did you make the final? Or you
Oh
ran
my
deep?
goodness. I got no, I stone bubbled it, you
Oh,
bastard.
no, did you? I think well,
Yeah, I got owned by Mr. Snapshove. Mr. Snapshove himself got me. And you fucking knew
He
that.
snapped
Daniel.
you
Wow,
up.
that's 2 Max Silver references in the first half hour.
Oh my goodness, God, the man's literally making the rounds. But no, he just got me on the bubble. He raised called me with a couple of 9s, and my king queen suited was not enough. It was even blue. I thought the blue cards always won.
Yeah, that's pretty
Well,
good.
remember,
But,
if you are at home
there's
playing
always
the Max
today.
Silver drinking game, you should have taken 2 shots by now.
2 blue shots, blue curacao, straight to the dome.
Is Ape Styles streaming this? What a legend. Don't know how he does it while entertaining the masses as well, giving them strategy advice.
I mean,
it's just
Interestingly,
check,
as you probably
audience.
expect, most of the players at this final table already have one or more Scoop titles to their name. Ape Styles,
A
not
lot
so
of them.
much. Had a third place finish in a 5K high roller last year, but is aiming for his first Scoop win in this 10K event.
Wow. Finally,
I
the
didn't think-
up-and-comer Ape Styles. Can he get his first Scoop win? We should say also, new EPT champion, Maratha, as well. No, I didn't
That's
even
true.
know.
Yeah.
It came up on my feed. I didn't even know. Out of nowhere, we're playing EPTs, live poker in Russia. They're just carrying on.
Yeah, they don't mind.
There's
They don't mind.
always an exception that proves the rule. The rule of there being no live poker proved by the fact that Russia is just carrying on. And yes, there was an EPT in Sochi. And yes, Sam, it was Artem Martirosyan who became the newest European Poker Tour winner just a few days ago and is now looking to win. It'll be his third Scoop title, won 2 last year.
Oh my God. Do you guys know how old Maratha is? James and Joe?
I don't.
I saw the press release, 23.
23. I don't know if you've seen him, but the man looks, looks
first
a bit older.
Tonka, come on. No, let's, look, I don't know whether
I couldn't
you,
believe
of
it.
all
I couldn't
people,
believe it. I couldn't
I don't
believe
think you
it.
should be handing that kind of banter out, mate. It's like there's a
Me?
big glass house that you're living in right now. And I'm just saying, put the stones down,
You're-
Tonka, and back away.
I'm just a young lad. Come on.
Yeah.
I look like I mean, I actually feel like I've finally matured to the point where I don't look like I'm 14 anymore. I've lived the bulk of my life looking the same age, and that was somewhere between
You have,
13
but
and
it looks
16
like
years
you've
old.
also put a lot of effort into it. Like it feels like you wake up every morning and just go and try to get that beard to grow out a little bit further.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Honestly, it's been a
When puberty
hard
hits,
trek.
Tonka, that thing will really come into its own, I think.
Mm-hmm. You think do you think it'll look good? It'll finally transform into something that doesn't look like, not this.
Yeah.
Well, the turned
They are playing
set of
poker, dude.
tens. Yeah, Laszlo going for value here on the river, full pot.
Man, I opened up. Heard you guys talking about Omaha for Roll's Instagram, and I opened up his Instagram. My goodness, that's a very tanned and jacked man.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's zero fail.
Yeah, Laszlo's the kind of guy, I turn up in my joggers for like live events, like no sleep, like slamming. He turns up just looking so good. Like he's just rolled in from a photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
So Maratha with Jack 10 suited, a hand that you're going to want to play in some kind of fashion. Obviously, Darwin
Could go either
incentivized
way.
to open very, very wide. Does just flat on the button.
Yeah, I would
Darwin's
assume
been
he'll
picking up
probably
some
mostly
hands.
flat, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's not that much jamming in these spots, I guess, from 20 bigs. And
Someone said I
luckily
look
for
like a
Maratha-
younger version of you, by the way, Sam.
yeah, mate, that was the uniform. Like 5 years ago, that was the look. That was the Sam Grafton look.
This right here?
Yeah, definitely.
That's actually
Oh,
not far
Rafa.
off at all,
So-
other than the beard.
Things
Taking
get
what-
spicy as we get the straight flush draw on the turn.
So a bet and a call would be my assumption.
Darwin's such a legend. Just know that he's got Jack 10 of hearts and put him in, Darwin. Just end him.
He might do.
I mean, this is certainly an effort.
And the board
True.
bricks out for Maratha.
Now,
Nice
will
card for Darwin
Cornelius
as well.
play to his opponent?
Yeah, nice card to rule out eights as well. Maratha going to have 5, 6s, but to lose one set that kind of plays this way every time is really, really nice river card for C. Darwin to go for value. Maratha going to have 9s and 10s as well. Obviously, nothing he can do with Jack 10 suited.
Pretty short now.
Yeah, and almost like a 2-tier final table we've got here. Obviously, Ape Styles probably going to chip up a little bit here. Probably come in for a 3-bet. But I'm Luckbox, Darwin, and Omaha for rolls, the big stacks. And then Loris, crown up guy, gonna have to just keep their noses clean, stay out of the way a little bit with Maratha so short, just with 10 bigs.
Everybody waiting for
So
Maratha.
you've got a lot of people very intrigued to know how and where they can find Laszlo on Instagram. What is Omaha for Rolls Insta ID?
Go on, Stapleton. You just looked it up, right? I don't know what.
Yeah, I had it. Hold on. It's Boosty1.
Right, there we go.
Boosty1.
And by the way,
BUJTI.
just so you know, when you look at it, it's not representative of how me and Tonka live. Put it this way, his lifestyle.
Speak for
and me and
yourself.
Tonka's considerably different.
Speak for yourself,
Yeah,
sir.
Tonka, you could actually, to be honest, I'd like to see that from you. I'd love to see an Instagram account with you
If you're the
leaning
kind of
back on some
person
luxury cars. That's what's missing from your lifestyle right now, Tonka. Just a picture of you just chilling on a Porsche Boxster. You know, that would be what the people want. So
Hey,
Maratha
send me a nice
here,
car and I'll do it.
yeah, has raised nearly all in, and I presume that Fedor will come over the top.
This is Domination Nation in Fedor's favor. Ace on the flop. And that will see Ace King hold, and we get another KO. Artem Martirosyan, recent EPT champion, out in 7th, cashing for 55K, taking us down to a 6-handed final table in this 10K high roller.
Yeah,
Pretty fun stack setup too. Like Sam was just mentioning, basically 3 guys with all the chips and 3 guys with, you know, the same stack, 30 bigs or 30, 40 blinds, whatever. Will be fun to see how they all deal with it. Yeah, here we go. Cornelius coming in with the king on the 4.
Loris could be able to deal with this in a pretty fun way.
and to us, obviously, this looks like a straight. Well, that's what I say.
I would have assumed Loris would be doing something different here, mostly just jamming it in.
I was going to say though, of course, Darwin isn't 3-bet calling Ace Jack in that exact spot, right? So it might seem a little silly to us, you know, to call, or it's an obvious spot to put it in. But actually, you know, you dominate a lot of the bluffs with Ace Queen, and you don't do very well against the hands that call off. So that's in Loris's thinking. The problem with calling, as we see, is you allow Darwin to realize some equity, and he nails top pair in this spot, and Loris loses the pot. That is the power of the big stack. Darwin, as Tonka highlighted, in the pack with Crown Up Guy and Ape Styles, when he's all in and called, even with the best hand, he hands money to Crown Up Guy and Ape Styles, and you know that's the power of covering someone. That's the power of being the big stack.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sam, just to echo your point about Simon Matson, C. Darwin too, being around for a long time and being relevant for a long time. Here is a player with 3 Scoop titles, and those wins came in 2012, 2016, and 2020. So has certainly done the rounds, shall we say.
Who's that, Darwin?
Yeah.
It's been quite the evolution.
Yeah, he had a pretty big win in 2020, didn't he? Didn't he have like a... It wasn't the Scoop main or anything, but he won.
Come on,
some
guys,
main
we don't
event.
need to hype up Darwin. He's won a few bob over the years. Yes, Tonka's like, yeah, I think he had a big win. Yes, obviously he had a big win, Tonka. Yeah, well done, mate. But yes, he's had a few.
Yes.
He's nicked a few quid over the years. Simon Matson. He's pocketed
binked
the
one or
odd dollar
two.
or two. Yeah,
Samuel, it doesn't matter who we
talk.
talk about on this table. They're all in that fucking boat. Have you seen this final table? They're all absolute geniuses, and they're all in that boat. It doesn't matter who we talk about.
Tonka, please bear in mind that Loris L91 qualified for this event, winning a 1K satellite to get entry to this 10K event. So
Cinderella story.
I won't have you.
Damn,
This guy has come from nowhere.
100%. Honestly, that could have been his last 1,000 as
He
well. I'm
managed
rooting for him now.
to scrape together $1,000 for a satellite.
$1,000 to play the satellite, and here he is. That's beautiful.
I mean, you know, the second fun fact I have is that he's got $18.8 million in total winnings on PokerStars. I prefer to center on the fact that he won a 1K satellite. He's our qualifier. He's our Cinderella story. He's who the people want to get behind tonight.
I won my Scoop main seat. Just putting it out there, by the way. Just putting it out there. I won a Scoop main seat. I was
Already?
I was first satellite, 1 from 1, Sam Grafton.
Here I was
for this year's Scoop.
$4,000 trying to make it in.
Yeah. I was 4th in chips with 3 seats, and some guy got it in with ace queen, and I was like yelling, yes, get out. I was cheering it. I was so happy. Here we go. This is our luck box. The King Napkin.
Pressurizing, as Sam Grafton would say.
Yeah, the correct choice of hand. But come on. You can't put up with this crown up guy. I don't care what the Sims say. Put it in, mate.
Crown up guy's putting it in. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's done it.
There we go. Thank you for the free 300K. I'm Luckbox
free
with
269
your Monka Sims and your King Deuce. I'll be taking this pot. Imagine,
that's actually what I say
imagine
whenever
what you need in Michael's mind to be like, yeah, I'm going to go after this guy, this crown up guy. I'm going to push him around a little bit, make him back down. It's like, no, you're not, Michael. No,
you're not, Michael.
No, you're not, Michael. I'm all in. I'm crown up guy.
Darwin coming in with a loose peel, looking to probably looking to flex on crown up guy a little bit post flop.
Yeah, now it's his turn.
Yeah,
right.
Good guy to go. Good guy to go after.
I mean, who do you go
Sam,
after at this
come back
table?
to the same thing. That's what I was going to say. Who are you going to go after on this table? Is everybody just supposed to just knit it up and not go
whoever's
after
in the
anyone,
pot
just see
with
where
you?
The cards fall.
No, I'm joking. King Deuce is allowed. We'll allow it.
You'll allow it.
The blocker and the blocker and the unblocker. It's a match made in heaven. It's like Lady in the Trap.
Look,
or
what a
Simon and
terrible
just
Garfunkel.
going to point out here that Darwin has a straight draw here. There is hope.
Yeah, I mean, this will be an interesting one because I would assume crown up guy is going to check back the turn here unless he has some other plans. And then if Darwin doesn't hit a deuce or a 7, I would assume he's going to bluff with his 5 high. So it'll be interesting to see what crown up guy does depending on how much Darwin bets.
This is just one way you've got to bluff, and well, maybe you could only do it when you got a diamond, but you feel like you've got a bluff and you just know it's not going to work.
What if you put 600K in? What about then?
Yeah, maybe.
Think it'd work then, Sam?
It might work, yeah. It might work.
No, it is curious though. That's what I was going to say. Like, he could either go for the small option like he's gone for and, keep it wide, representing an ace, a 10, or even some sneaky flushes or 6s.
I don't think this size, you don't bet this size with a 10, by the way, because...
no, not in this scenario, I would agree, yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, that size, by the way. I'd rather check.
Think you should go bigger, yeah. Bigger or give up sounds reasonable.
Well, it's 8
Did you play this
Jonathan
event,
Van
Tonka?
Fleet opening here with King 10. Oh, raise and take it.
I was also trying. I scraped together, messaged a couple of my buddies, and scraped together $1,000. And I hopped in the same Saturday that Loris L91 probably won in on, and I also won an entry into this tournament. So I was looking for the Cinderella story. I was looking to be here for you guys to commentate on today, but alas, I am not in the tournament. I lost.
Well, if you were here, we would at least know who to tell the other players to pick on. Like we'd have an answer for that question.
And that's a fact. If I was on this final table, the odds that I am in the bottom 3 players is 100%. Yeah. And maybe even the bottom 1. So who knows, man?
Wow.
Yeah.
Getting the value bet in with ace high and getting check raise, bit of a non-believer, does get a very, very good turn card for his hand. And this is one of the things, again, stylistically about Laszlo, does play very aggressively, check raising with a lot of chips to play behind. Kind of awkward, and in she blows for ape styles out of nowhere.
Rewarded.
No, we see a
Laszlo
really
might
tiny
even-
blocking bet. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I think
maybe
he
a
will.
10%er.
Yeah.
A little bit more. And the great ape will be looking for more money.
Go on, John.
But how much more? Just a casual 210 or what? Oh, a greedy
Way
size.
more.
I guess the logic here is that if he has an ace, he's probably going to get called, right? So just go for the greedier size and target that.
The ace-6 is such a sweet hand to have right there. Like, you're extra free rolling.
Well, it's kind of better to just have a 6 because you want him to have an ace, right?
Right.
Sorry to be the
Sorry.
pro correcting the comedian. Come on,
sorry,
on, Joe
no,
Stapleton. Know your blockers. It's all
Wait,
very
Joe,
well
excuse me,
being
Sam.
able to entertain hundreds of people, you know,
Wait,
in
Joe's
some
meant to be a comedian?
comedy festival. But do you know how blockers work? You know, I mean,
Do you know that? Do you know that Hold'em hand consists of 2 cards? All I was saying was that both of his whole cards. Ace-6 was the hand he had. Would you rather have Ace-6 there or have no 6 at all?
You don't get extra points for having the 6 cards straight, Joe. Just in case you didn't realize, it's not like, oh, I've got a super straight though.
It depends. If you're playing the fortune bonus, you can get paid on that, especially if you're playing in the envy box.
That's right. You don't want to have to not have the envy box up there, and then the guy next to you has the 7 card.
Exactly.
That was pretty interesting. The Darwin potted that. We skimmed over that, but he flopped top set or bottom set and then potted the flop. Pretty interesting.
Okay. Fedor Holtz just flopping top set.
Here he is.
Here he is. So if
Fedor just deserves to be that guy where everything he achieves in life, we just accredit to run good. Like, he's so talented, probably so hardworking, but any success he has, I'm just like, yeah, he runs pure, he runs good. Wow, and what a turn card for Loris.
Hold your tongue.
Hand. Yeah,
Hold your tongue,
top
Sam.
set.
Let's see how good he runs.
Looking way more vulnerable. It's just going to come at offsuit 6 on the river and ensure Crown Up gets paid in absolute full. That's how, this is just hype. This is just, and can Loris find the check back here? Very tempting to bet for protection. Does check back.
Okay, he runs
and
good.
Bad river card for Loris, because this check does look like it could be an ace high.
So this was just a raise pre-flop and a call and then a check down to the river. That's what happened, right? Yeah. Loris is going to pay. Come on.
No.
He folded the ace
With a
9 before,
6?
and I thought my history of Loris is he was a big time payer, to be honest. But he folded that ace 9 before, and he's probably going to fold them both, you know. So
Notes. It's like I can just see Tonka. You click on like the notes. Big time payer.
big time payer.
Technical
Yeah,
language
listen.
from you, Tonka. Is that
That was probably before he
GTO
studied
talk?
satellite strategy.
Big time payer.
My notes aren't so much as double floats the flop, relatively weak when probing turn. You know, double check back bet lines are generally quite strong. My notes are like slow roll this guy, this big
This
big
guy.
trapper.
Is that what it says? Is that the adjective
guy.
used?
When
Guy.
I
This
know
guy.
it's this guy, you know, if it's Samuel in there, you know, I might say something different, you know. Won't say it on stream.
I'm just surprised.
I think I know what the C stands for in Tonka's notes.
You do. But yeah, my notes are a mess, man. They're not on the technical side at all, and they're also very limited.
You're just giving them away for free. Everyone else is going to have it now on Loris. Just all our thousands of viewers, everyone's noting him down.
Big time payer.
Big time payer.
Well,
And he used
this
to be.
promised so much and delivered so little. It's a pair of 5s against a pair of 4s.
Do you guys remember when notes like big time pair was enough to write a poker book? Like, I don't know if you guys just saw, like, there's some tweets going around this weekend about TJ Cloutier's book and just the complete nonsense that's in it.
Yeah, the two
Like
times
folding
player
ace
will
king
rock.
to a single raise.
it was like, is someone a
Whoa.
rock or are they a maniac? Those are the two types of
Right.
players. It's like you're a good player, and on one side is the players that are rocks, and on one players on side are the players that are maniacs. That's
Big
there
time
we go.
pairs.
Oh, here we go. Another Adamo hand. Adamo's playing poker.
He's got a
He's
6 in
always
his
playing
hand, and
poker.
that's good enough.
He's got a 6 in his hand. You know, he's got a pair, and he sees a small bet, and most players would be like, yeah, I've got a straight blocker, I've got a pair. This is just going to win all sorts of the time. And Adamo has correctly assessed that his opponent has just 1 pip higher, and he's like, how can I fuck up this guy's day just as aggressively as possible? You know? And he found the answer. He found the answer. The answer is 280,000 with that blue 0% beside his name. And he's got it, and it's probably going to work.
Let's go, iBlockbox. Oh dear, Loris. And what do you
Yeah,
have in
like
your
Sam
hand?
was saying.
Nothing quick. I mean, this would work. Like again, it shows Michael's reputation that he's tanking on this. Does
And he's done it.
Just finding
So
ways
right
to win
now-
pots out of nowhere.
I'm Luckbox.
I think you should get
still has
some
the chip
chips.
lead, 2.7 million, but it's pretty close right now between Mike Adamo, Simon Matson, and Laszlo Bushtas.
Yeah,
You should get
and
some
one-
chips just for thinking about calling there.
Yeah, little rebate. Like, you know,
Yeah,
throwables,
like
you should
50.
be able to just throw a couple of chips back. Like, I owned you, but you did think about it. Here's a few chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one difficult thing for Michael is that he is opening into Darwin and Omaha for rolls, right? You know, look at Loris's position as well. Loris opening into the 3 big stacks. The 3 guys that can play, can defend against him 4 chips with very, very little risk premium on them. And that's really, really, really tough spot for him. And then Michael
That's the kind of
obviously
3
not
players
having
that-
an ideal seed draw. Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Jim.
I was going to say that's the kind of 3 players that if you see if you know Stakes were to make a day 2 and he sees them on his left, he'd genuinely be better off just not showing up to the tournament.
Yeah, no,
You know,
I
let
just
him
don't,
find out.
don't
Maybe
play.
get a pay jump or something.
I just want to name and shame Craig McCorkle, who registered my first ever World Series. Was learning from the other great British pros. He registered the 10K 6-max. We went to sit down, and Durr was on his left. Tom Dwan was on his left. So he went back, and the only way you could get out of it, if you have to say that you're ill. So he went back and feigned a stomach bug to get out of playing the 10K 6-max because Durr was on his left. And I've never forgotten it as an instance of like pitiful
And now
heart.
you just
Like,
fucking
no
exposed him. You just
heart.
exposed him.
Yeah, I've been waiting.
Yeah, but to be
worked my way
fair,
up.
you don't have. Like, if you don't have to feign the stomach bug. All you have to do is get a hot dog from the poker kitchen, and you don't have to fake it. You can just genuinely get
True.
one.
Pause, because you might have seen that we've got lots of strawberries on this board, and now we have a 10 high flush versus a 9 high flush, and Adamo's going for value, 224,000.
I don't know why
Alien
you paused
versus
it.
Predator. Go
He's-
ahead, guys. Just shred each
Harkin,
other.
why have you paused this great story? Darwin's going to pay here. It's not going to get. What do you think he's going to do? Jam the 9 high flush?
We can cover the
from it.
hand that's
Pretty fucking
happening every
awesome
once
if-
in a while.
Would have been awesome if he just did it.
No, but I've built this streaming career just to name and shame Craig McCorkle. I've been waiting years. I've kept this story in my back pocket. So, crown up guy, king queen suited. Let's flat. I would imagine.
By the way, not to pile on Craig, but that's probably maybe the 4th or 5th most embarrassing story I could tell about him. There's definitely way
the other
worse
one that
things.
doesn't involve girls and Grey Goose. Though. It's the only one that involves poker.
Oh wow, Crown Up
What
guy's
a
got King
flop
Queen of Hearts,
for
and the flop comes
Fedor,
King 9-7
huh?
2 hearts. Can't believe it.
There he is.
Imagine if this flop
Yeah,
just
Nick-
came 7-6-4 with like 2 clubs and a spade. Fedor would just be like,
Support?
Obviously,
Support.
H-Style's going to be sensitive to how strong crown up guys' range is. Very, very few flats. And some people might not even play any flats. In
curious with the Ace of Hearts in his hand
sevens.
as to what he's going to do.
Yeah, it is. It is a little something. It's a little tickler.
Certainly
Ape
wouldn't be
loves a good
surprised to
check.
see the Great Ape come in here with a little check rizzle. And there it is.
Oh,
And if a heart
Everyone's
peels off
so
on the turn,
fancy.
oh my goodness. They are. Have you noticed how fancy the game has got from you guys doing the EPT retro streams? Is there a big difference in the game 10 years ago compared to now? I mean, there is,
look,
but like, is it like...
They were pretty fancy back then, but there was like pretty much no logic or reason to it. It was just like complete bravado, whereas the game today has no bravado and it's just pure logic and reason.
Oh my goodness, and Ape Styles looks like he's gearing up for it here.
Okay, maybe some bravado now that I see this. Maybe a little.
Yeah, and on a brick, the ace of hearts now isn't a good card, I would imagine. You kind of want them to have ace queen of hearts, ace 10 of hearts. Does have a jack, blocking jack 10, which was a double gutter on the flop. Will get check raised on occasion. There's a lot of money out there.
Would be pretty interesting if he jammed. And...
Yeah, nice play from Ape. Nice. I think
Very
a lot
curious.
of if you're a more beginning player and watching this, giving up on a bluff is important. That's something I didn't used to be able to do. Is starting off a story and eventually relinquishing. That ace of hearts really changes from a good card to a bad card on the Brick River, and really nice of Ape to preserve the 760. And now Crown Up guy, who's caught some cards, hit some flops, is right up in the pack with Darwin and with Michael. Just begins with the overbet on the flop. Here we go.
Also, Laszlo as well. All those guys between two. Well, in Mike's case, it's over 3 million now. Everyone else between 2 and 2.5 million. Two relative short stacks at the final table. Jonathan Van Fleet, Ape Styles playing 740k. And then Loris L91 now all in with ace 8, has walked into ace jack. But does Darwin play this?
Yes. I'm a little surprised at this shove here. This is quite strong.
Oh, no.
Gets through.
Wow. Darwin folds to ace jack suited.
So Darwin would be surprised also.
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
That's quite inexplicable to me.
We now have queens versus ace queen. Laszlo opens to 77k. There's the shove from Ape Styles with ace queen. Snap called. And an ace required. Oh, the full house on the turn. And another player dispatched. Jonathan Van Fleet busting in 6th place for $70,989. And Omaha for rolls reclaims the chip lead.
Another all-in is coming.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Ace Jack versus Ace 8 domination nation. Wow, the nut flush on the flop. And another KO. Loris out in 5th place. Back-to-back hands, back-to-back eliminations. Already down to 4 players. $91,623 for that 5th place finish. And now
is when the fun
battle
really
of the big
starts.
stacks.
Yeah, now is the fun really going to start with these 4 as well. Arguably the most wild 4 on the FT, I would say. I'm not sure. Ape Styles was there. Honestly, it's a crazy FT. I shouldn't even try to say anything. They're all very aggressive, good players. But these 4 are, they get out of line for sure. So we can truly see some wild stuff going on. How long have I been here, by the way? Like half an hour, and I've watched 5 people bust, I think.
20 minutes.
4 people bust? Yeah, what's going on? You guys had somewhere to be, eh? You got a little message in the stars, make sure this one goes fast?
I mean,
sometimes
don't jinx
these
us.
high
We've
rollers,
had
they just like
4-hour
to get it
three-handed
done.
matches.
Yeah, this is super deep now, so this could easily take hours, right? It likely will take hours, actually.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll just chop it 4 ways. Maybe they'll go, guys, look, someone will type in chat, listen, guys, let's be reasonable. We're all strong poker players. Why don't we just chop up the money and move on with our day? Well, how do you feel about that, Mike?
I think Adamo would put a smiley face in the chat and the play would continue.
Darwin writes back, yes, I don't think my edge is much more than any of the rest of you. What do you guys think? We also all agree that we barely have an edge.
Yeah. And
Let's just
Darwin's
chop it up.
In the event that there are any kind of deal conversations, worth pointing out that 10K has to be set aside. Plus, of course, they have to play for the title as well.
Whoa, 10K. Ooh.
They really,
That's a whole
it's really
buy-in.
forcing. Whole buy-in, yeah.
A whole buy-in.
Oh, dear.
But gonna see at least a call from Luckbox here. And I mean, not gonna see a raise, I don't think, but interested about the river.
That's right, Vivid Egg. I suspect we all have a 25% chance of winning. Let's chop.
And there is the flush on the river for Fedor Holtz.
Will he
Yeah,
give
really nice
Adamo the room? What are you gonna say, Sam?
No, I think unblocking the pairs. You gotta go for this.
You gotta go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So nice when it comes in, because it's kind of speculative on the turn. I was a little surprised that he, I guess, trying to fold out a 9 on the turn, or just sort of betting his equity.
I was gonna say also one of those scenarios where like you just it feels difficult to really like go too wrong betting with an open ender, a flush draw, and a pair. But yeah.
yeah, I agree. That's definitely true. Definitely true.
So we reached the first break, and after 50 minutes of play, after that first session, we have lost 5 of the 9 players from this final table. We are 4-handed in Scoop Event 6, the 10K high roller. And when we return in around 4 minutes' time, we will continue to play down to a winner. A first prize up for grabs tonight of more than $254,000. Now, Tonka, there's a very good reason why we wanted you on the stream this evening. It's not a coincidence that we wanted to have you on at the same time as Mr. Grafton, because we have something very special to tell everyone watching this evening. In fact, Joe, I have something special to tell you, because I don't even think you know this. I am delighted to reveal that Parker Talbot and Sam Grafton are now officially the newest members of Team Pro. You are looking at the Squid and Tonka, the newest PokerStars ambassadors. Congratulations, guys.
Wow,
and welcome
congratulations.
Thank
Good
you,
stuff,
thank you.
Tonka. You just lost F-bomb privileges. You were dropping them like crazy in the last level, and now that you're patched up, those days are over.
I said it twice and I was like, I don't know if I should have said that. But
Clean living from now on, Tonka.
My stream from now on will be fully, it'll be fully swear-free. I was actually talking to Benj about that the other day, and we're both going to make a fully swear-free stream. It's going to be nothing but family fun from here on out.
Exactly.
And Sam, I'm guessing this is what the Brazil move was about, right? You just looked and thought, well, Akari, he's made a decent living. The last kind of 10, 15 years, they're partnering with Neymar. If I move to Brazil, chances are I'll get a contract.
Yeah, I just followed
And
the
it
run
worked.
good. When the Germans were hot, I was straight in there. I moved to Vienna. Now the Brazilians are scooping up all the dollars. I just followed the run good IP. I'm happy to go wherever.
Wait, Sam, did
But,
you move
but
to
yeah,
Brazil, or are you vacationing?
It's something in between. I'm here for a while, for sure. But in all seriousness, I'm really, really excited to join the team. I was a little saddened to see I'm sharing my moment in the limelight with Tonka, but whatever. I guess they need something to appeal to the kids, or whatever. They need
They
something
actually
to appeal
told
to
me,
the
I put up a sneak about that too. They actually told me that they would do you after. That they would
like a
introduce me
2-for-1.
first, and then 5 minutes after, they'd introduce you.
But no, in all seriousness, I was really excited when I heard Tonka was coming on board at the same time. Seemed to me a real fun opportunity. And yeah, I've really enjoyed working with you guys over this last year. And now I'm contractually obliged to turn up anytime Joe Stapleton requests a commentary buddy. There's nothing. I'm handcuffed. I have to come on stream whenever he requests. So that's.
I have the graft signal.
Yes,
Fire it up into the Brazilian sky.
I mean, I think both you guys are great additions to the team. And Tonka, what a team to be around. Lots of people to troll you endlessly. The Fintons, the Lexes, the Spraggies, and the Squids as well.
Yeah, I know. It's Sam and I have been friends in poker for ages. I mean, obviously, Finton's one of my oldest friends in poker, and Sprague is one of my currently closest friends now. And Lex and I have always been good friends as well. And yeah, man, it's going to be an absolute mess. Like, I'm not really looking forward to the nonsense that. I mean, Sprague always gives me so much nonsense. So, like, it doesn't really matter. It's a two-way street for sure. But yeah, it's going to be fucking unreal. I'm very excited. Oh, there it is again. It's going to be very, very, very exciting. I apologize, guys. I'm literally losing money every time I say that as well. They take it out of my.
Check out the small print in your contract.
I will.
So we welcome both
excited,
Sam Grafton and Parker Talbot to Team Pro. Joe's going to take a short break from the booth, but both Tonka and the Squid are going to stick around as we continue to follow the action in Scoop event number 6. This is the 10K high roller. Somehow we lost 5 players in the first 50 minutes, but look how deep they are now. The shortest stack is 64 big blinds, and they're all relatively even in chips right now. There is a lot of play still in this thing, so expect a drawn out, short-handed battle with serious sums of money on the line, because with 4 players remaining, everyone is now guaranteed a 6-figure score. Next player out is going to get $118,000, $152K for third, 196, near enough 197,000 for the runner-up, more than $250,000 for the winner. Well, I'm just going to sit back now and let you guys earn that sweet, sweet PokerStars money. Go for it.
What, now we have to get going on in here, huh? That's that we now that we're contractually obligated, you're just gonna sit there in the corner.
I'm basically going to be like kind of the ringmaster of this circus, but as far as I'm concerned right now, the animals are on the stage and they're doing just fine.
So who you fancy, Tonka? We got who you think's going to take this one down?
I was going to say earlier that you were mentioning, I was listening in before I popped on, and you were saying that, it's such a hard person to say who the best in the world is. And I've gotten that question literally a billion times through streaming. And I've always said, right?
Well, you say Sam Squid, right, though, when people ask you. I mean, it's a minority view.
I say the best looking 55-year-old man in poker is 100% Samuel Grafton. So I mean, that's an easy one. You can always fall back on that one. But no, I was going to say that I've always answered, who cares? Too tough to say. Doesn't matter. Controlled by variance. But I mean, I'm Luck Box is just actually a genius. I think it's not difficult to say that he's, the best, if not top 3 for sure in the world in terms of internet card games and live card games, of course. But yeah, and he has a chip lead, so I mean, I have to just say Adamo. But I am friends with C. Darwin, so I'll definitely be, rooting for him.
You claimed to be friends with Lex earlier, and I thought that was possibly an on-stream lie. I'm pretty sure Lex doesn't even know who you are. But let's just pause a moment. C. Darwin he's got an ace in his hand, so he's got that going for him. And he's coming after. He's heard us claim that I'm Luckbox is the best in the world, and he just wants to show us.
This is a cold 4-bet as well.
Yeah. Michael.
He did, though. You're right. You're totally right.
1 overcard to the 10s. And this is when it's not exciting to have ace deuce off. SBR 1. And that is pretty much a white flag. Obviously, there will be some strong checks. Potentially. Will I'm Luckbox seize the initiative? Checks back. Obviously, when you do get taken to the streets, ace deuce is a good hand if you're never going to get flatted just playing the blocker. But obviously, it's not a hand that flops much equity very often and doesn't bluff. Again,
I know full white flag. Do you think, or do you think he might sneak a few in here with aces and kings?
I mean, my feeling is that he won't. But I don't want to say too much about Darwin's strategy. And Luckbox putting out the blocking bet, wanting to sort of protect against occasional ace kings or just the one overcard like Darwin has. A lot of money out there. And that's another big pot for Michael, who really separates himself from Darwin now. 3 times as many chips as the shortest stack.
I see Ferg mentioning in the chat that, what did he say? There's a rumor going around that my lockdown hair has gotten a bit out of control. I actually managed to find the charger for my razor and give my face a little trim here, because before this morning, even I looked even more homeless than I currently do. And it was not great. But yeah, my head has gotten truly out of control with these lockdowns. I mean, I was supposed to be able to get a haircut in a week, but we've gone on another lockdown here in Ontario. So it'll be longer. And I was thinking, I think I just won't touch the hair on my head now until I've won a Scoop title.
Wow.
Or on my face. So, I mean, it's only a month, right? Month and a half, I believe. So, we'll see what happens, I guess. And if I do get a Scoop title, I'll just keep growing it anyways, because I won't be able to get a haircut probably then either.
Well, how about this? If you do win a Scoop title, you stay good on your pledge to have a haircut, and basically you get your razor clippers and you basically take it all off. You go full metal jacket style, United States Marine Corps, clean shaven.
If I get a Scoop title, that's what I have to do. So I have to punish myself for winning a Scoop title.
But if you don't win a Scoop title, James Hartigan has to go full metal jacket. So if you don't win a Scoop title, James Hartigan live on stream on the main event.
Live on stream on the main podium. I can commit to that. I'll commit to that.
That's Hartigan's promise to the people. Wow, that's such a generous offer.
I'll even commit to a top three. To a top three.
No, yeah. I'm not agreeing to this.
Come on.
Poor.
I've practically got no hair left as it is.
Well, there you go.
That's why it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Tonka's actually got locks to shave off. You and me, James, there's not much to it. I mean, it's like
I've got an insane amount of hair right now. It's so absurdly long. You guys want some?
Yeah, we'd kill for it.
I don't think it works that way.
Does it not?
So, pair of queens, still good here.
Yeah, and these guys really taking their time and very cautious over every decision. I mean, when players can put in check raise bluffs, big bluffs, and big moves, you have to be very, very careful about your sizing and what you value bet and what you protection bet. But obviously, we saw Loris go for a little bit of light value before and get raised off his hand by Unlockbox. Michael going to be concerned about getting check raised here. Does get value from the ace high, though.
To be expected when your name is I'm Luckbox. He gets a lot of value that I feel like a lot of players would not get.
I mean, just looking at this list of results that Mike's racked up, and in 25Ks on the EPT, he runs golden. A third in Barcelona, a fifth in Monte Carlo, a fourth in Prague, a third in Prague the same year. 2 25Ks on the schedule in 2018, and he final table both of them, finishing the top 5 in both of them.
Yeah, I mean, also one thing that really grates me sometimes is the way they talk about certain players as if they like saying that like players that play high rollers wouldn't be good in main events or in big field tournaments. I mean, Michael also won the marathon event, I think, at the World Series, where there was absolutely enormous field, carved his way through it. I think he has two bracelets in decent field size events. I think one also was a 25K, but very supremely talented kid. Really, really a phenomena, basically.
Well, as far as Scoop is concerned, Mike has one Scoop title, which came in 2016 in a 6-max no-limit hold'em event for 142K. He's also a WCOOP winner as well. I mean, look, we know these guys have got very impressive resumes. No, it was hold'em, no-limit hold'em.
One thing I would say is if we were playing 5-card draw here, Omaha for Rolls and Crown Up Guy would have the edge, though. Can the man play 5-card draw? That's the big question.
That's the big question. That's the big
I
game.
cannot answer.
How about you, Sam? Can you play 5-card draw? Can you play any mixed games, Sam, for that matter?
I've got one cash in the 8-game mix. I had a little period in my career when I used to play down the gut shop. They used to have a mix game, and the mix was triple flop Omaha, pot limit Omaha high low, London lowball, which is a version of Raz, where straights and flushes count against you, and super stud, which is where you get dealt 5 cards and you discard 2 of them, and then you pick your stud high low hand and it plays pot limit. And I used to clean up in that mixed game rotation like an absolute legend, and then sadly it's fallen by the wayside. So Rebink for I'm Luckbox, who pairs the 4.
Yes.
Was it just a bet and a call
It was
here?
domination rotation. It is now restoration.
Yeah, I don't think too much money's going to go in here. Both players sort of with a little piece of showdown. But yeah, I can play mixed games a little bit, Tonka, but I would like to get better. Maybe that's something we could do, by the way. I'll be up for learning a few mixed games.
Dude, yeah, maybe we could maybe we could fire up a stream sometime and try to learn some mixed games together. That would be nice, actually.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I've always had a lot of respect for players that can play multiple games.
Play all the games for sure. Yeah,
I would definitely like to improve.
Yeah, big respect for like the Blanco Negro types, man. He is like just insane the way that he does it with all the mixed games, and like still plays, really aggressive and solid in 2-card poker.
Yeah, legend, Connor, absolute legend. Going for value, I mean, you highlighted it earlier, Tonka. Very thin value bet here, razor thin from I'm Luckbox. And Crown Up Guy does have just the pip below. Blocking the ace as well, which will show down.
Yeah, this is really razor thin as well, especially when you consider that like this went check, call pre, check call, and then he bets the river, which is like exclusively he's getting paid by ace high and a 3.
Yeah.
I'm Luckbox, man.
Paid off.
The man is a genius. The man is a genius.
The 3.
Yeah.
By the way, your plans to do this mixed games tutorial stream, I'm sure you remember the dingo and the baby moment from Family Guy. I do feel that Tonka and the squid could be this kind of great on-air partnership.
Tonka and the squid, there we go.
We've got branding expert James Hargan. Buy the domain rights right now if you've got anything about you. Trademark the hashtag.
Well, seeing as you had griffgraph.com, so cruelly stolen away from you, I feel that you need to get in there quick with this one.
Yeah, Dreyfus immediately bought that domain name as well. He's such a shark. Before inventing his own just before inventing his own cryptocurrency, he was like, "Okay, man, I bought the domain name. I won't do it. I can't do it." Straight away, I was like, I actually had no worries about it. I was like, I can guarantee you that domain name is going to be worth nothing 10 years from now. So again,
so we're going to see another thin value.
Yeah, I'm Luckbox is going to bet 3x pot and get paid by the 3 in any moment now. Yeah,
I mean, this won't even be thin, of course.
150% pot.
Yeah, do it. No, he won't do it. He's going to bet like 230, 240. That's my guess. All right, a little bit friendlier.
The bluffs here, King Deuce, Queen Deuce. Maybe like a jack.
Could even have some really garbage hands. 4 deuce, 6 deuce that just opted to check the flop and then not bet the turn. But I mean, I would assume some of them might get bet at some point.
Come on. There we go. Finally finds the fold button. That's a little bit of game flow from Fedor. He's like, I'm not paying the third time. Mm-hmm. They've got it. the old school.
So we've got Fedor opening on the button here and Darwin in the big blind with King Queen. After this hand, Mr. Talbot, we're going to release you back to your daily routine.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to hop in some scoops. Going to slide right into some scoops.
Starting all the time. Yep. That's how it works.
Yeah, there's even a horse going right now. I might even play this horse today. Speaking of mixed games, horse
Sure,
around a
the
little bit,
mixed
you
game
know.
community, the mixed game
They will be
community
very
licking their
excited.
lips
Yeah, yeah.
at the thought of you. The thought of you and me coming to learn, bringing our hard-earned MTT dollars and handing them directly over to people who know how to play deuce to seven triple draw. Literally straight from my account into your account.
What a game! What a game! What a yeah. We don't even we can just skip the playing part, honestly. But no, I think either last scoop or last W. Last scoop, I'm pretty sure it's got to be last scoop. I actually made it to final table in the 1K8 game, I believe. I think I got like fifth or sixth place or something like that.
James, we're not having him on the stream again. He's coming out with all the brags. Friends with Lex, 8-game horse finalist.
Friends with Lex is a brag, by the way. Have you seen that guy? Come on. Friends with Lex is a brag? Come on.
Yeah.
Sam, I can't promise that we won't have him back, but what I can do for you right now is get rid of him. So, Tonka, thank you very much for spending an hour with us this evening, and congrats once again. Good to have you on the crew.
Cheers, guys. Look forward to the next time I join, and I look forward to seeing everybody on my Twitch stream as well, because I will be firing Twitch streams during Scoop, just in case anybody was curious as to what this means for us. We will be firing some streams, so make sure to stop on by. Thanks for having me, guys.
Confirmed.
Speak soon, buddy.
Thank you very much to Tonka, and I look forward to, when the novelty's worn off, trying to strong-arm him into appearing on some streams. So yeah, Sam, I think back to when I first saw you on the Sky Poker Cash game back in 2012, and then your ill-fated last place finish on 2 consecutive seasons of Shark Cage. How far you've come in all that time.
Yeah, exactly. From Mike, literally some of the worst Shark Cage performances of all time. Just being absolutely owned by celebrities who play 4 times yearly. So crown up guy here with the Ace King suited, loving this spot. Obviously, really enjoying the extra money in there from Darwin, and will squeeze. And you could play back with the Ace-5 suited, but I think at this sizing, there's just no fold equity. Darwin is having a think about it. Ace-5, a special hand, of course. Yeah, I mean, I'm delighted, James, to be honest. I'm really excited to be part of PokerStars. I think we're going to do really good things going forward. Obviously, PokerStars has been a big part of my life in terms of, my career and as a poker player and my development. And, I'm to be part of Team Pro alongside, people like Lex and Spraggy, who I really admire and like, and Tonka as well. All jokes aside, it's really a new chapter for me and a really, really exciting one.
It's really cool. And I think it's a really interesting dynamic at this table now, Sam. And I think, we realized this when we came back from break and we saw how deep they are. And okay, Darwin slipping down to just below the million mark, but it's by no means short stack right now. And even though we had those fast bust outs during the first session, no reason to suspect this is going to be over anytime soon, because these guys could really play short-handed for a long time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, one thing about these top level guys is they're really, really talented with all stack sizes. They really, really know how to play 10 big blinds, even sub 10 big blinds. Now the pay jumps are very, very significant. They're going to be, they're going to eke out their stacks. Darwin here, unless he bluffs the river, which I don't know whether this hand has the right properties, going to be pushed to the shortest. And really, obviously, that everything's gone Michael's way, but played very, very well as well. And these guys came back. They all pretty much had the same stack. And now Omaha, Feroz, and Adamo really have separated themselves from Crown Up Guy and C. Darwin.
Yeah.
So it will be, I think, I'm like
2040.
Yeah, I'm like Box going to be pushing the action a bit more. And Crown Up Guy, at least for the time being, going to have to be a bit more careful about picking his spots. Although, as I said, with ICM, it's really the last part of your stack, which is the most valuable. The initial chips, defending and opening, not so important. It's just that you can't open yourself up to being forced all in.
We'll just see how this hand plays out. But I just wanted to quickly mention that we said at the start of the broadcast that there are numerous events concluding today. One of the other high buy-in events that's playing down to a winner tonight is event 5, which is a 2K 6-max PLO. Again, pretty stacked field in this one, Sam. Came back with 22 players. Play restarted about 20 minutes ago. Wizzo, a man who you used to have as your avatar. Olashemian is the chip leader in that one. Still going strong. Ludovic Geilich and Calvin 7V. Interestingly, see Darwin 2, Simon Matson recently busted in 20th from that event.
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of these guys are really good at Omaha. I mean, you mentioned Ludo, very, very, very strong Omaha player. Yeah. Incredible track record. I think he won some enormous, I don't know whether it was a Scoop or WCOOP. Maybe it was a 25K buy-in even. Really, really strong Omaha tournament player and probably Omaha player in general.
So Darwin opening here with ace-7 of clubs. And wow, flops the flush draw, the nut flush, has a lock on this hand. And from Mike Adamo's perspective, Sam, how is he feeling about the Queen of Clubs right now? Pretty good, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it's definitely going to mean that you're going to continue in the hand. Normally, Darwin going to pick a very, very small sizing on this monotone board. I mean, one thing is that Darwin doesn't open much 10 of clubs, or, you know, either he's flopped a flush or he has, if he has a club, it's better than tends to be better than the Queen of Club. And in fact, Michael going for the check raise. I mean, Darwin's basically suited so often that you get a lot of auto folds here from like Queen Jack of Hearts, Queen 10 of Hearts, King Queen of Diamonds and the like. And so that's what Michael's targeting and improving.
I mean, now he's screwed, right? You turn top pair to go with the flush draw and you're like, okay, right, now I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you outdraw 10s, you outdraw jacks at this point. I think he's going to be, yeah, he's aware though that, you know, it's hard for Darwin to stack off with 9, 10 of hearts, let's say, on this turn, right? That's very, very difficult, you know, to get the money in really, really good. So Michael here checks. These monotone boards play very weird. And I think Iron Luckbox will go for value on this river, but I doubt it will be an all-in sizing. You still lose, of course, to aces, no club, aces with a club, kings with a club. See, that's only a small part of Darwin's range, but, you know, he folded a lot on the flop. Oh, he does go big. I'm a little surprised at this. And Michael going to get the bad news here shortly.
And if Darwin shoves river, Sam, is Mike priced into making the call?
I mean, I really, really don't know. This is a spot that, I mean, final tables.
What are you beating?
When you're getting such amazing odds, really, really weird spot. I mean, could Darwin do this with ace king, with the ace of clubs? Does he just shove ace jack with the ace of clubs on the flop? What would a bluff be on this river? Does pay off.
Yeah, makes the call. And that is the full double up for Simon Matson. See Darwin now playing 1.8 million. And we'll see if anyone takes on Laszlo here, who's opened with ace king. I did quickly want to ask this question. Obviously, just as Tonka departed, he revealed that he is going to be firing up streams during Scoop. Zeddy wants to know, is the Squid ever going to be firing up a solo stream?
Yeah, definitely. I think that I won't be streaming as regularly as Tonka. I don't think, but I will try and do some streaming at some point. Perhaps when Scoop's over, get myself into the zone and play on stream. Definitely going to give it a go at some point, I think. Reveal. Basically, this man can talk a little bit of poker. We'll see on stream whether I can actually play at all.
We know you can play, Sam. What we're interested to see is whether you can play and talk at the same time. Right. That's the challenge, right? That's the hard part.
That is the challenge, for sure. For sure. So Omaha for rolls, check calling on this flop. And crown up guy sort of betting his junk. Nice to have a diamond in hand to generate a few more folds.
Yeah, I think that's a good comment here from Son of a Perch. I'm not sure if Grafton likes chatting enough to carry his own stream. You can be sometimes a little bit monosyllabic, Sam, so there is that danger that there might be these long spells of silence.
And Crown Up guy goes for it again. And this is where having check called the 6-8 of diamonds is a little uninviting. We can see, obviously, Crown Up guy is bluffing with a slightly better hand. And it's not much fun to check call the flush draw on the turn. And Fedor's aggression paying off, forcing it through with a very, very junky hand against a pretty strong draw. This is the sort of hand...
blind situation here.
Chip leaders like to race. One thing that we, again, I don't know, I don't talk sort of strategy with Michael, but he will be randomizing this kind of spot to some extent. Some of these really top class players, actually control their frequencies with a random number generator to stop them, sort of giving into their inclinations, their aggressive inclinations. So maybe raising something 50% or 75% based on a number that comes up. That might seem crazy to some people who are just, like a bit newer to the game or play recreationally. Even some, obviously most pros don't even do that. Something that I suspect Michael, maybe some of these other guys might be doing as well.
So I mentioned that PLO event, Event 5, is playing down to a winner tonight. We're also keeping tabs on event number 4, which is the 2K Sunday High Roller Special Edition. That started last night. It's going to play down to the final table tonight. We're going to stream the final 9 playing down to a winner tomorrow. But as they play down from 38 to 9 today, I noticed that Bowie Effect is a top 10 stack. That is Andy Wilson, who was the most recent guest on the Poker in the Ears podcast. We did our Scoop preview show last week, Sam, and we got to speak to Andy and really enjoyed meeting him and talking to him for the first time.
He loves the game, man. Did he talk a lot of poker? He loves talking about the game. His enthusiasm for poker and poker strategy, I think, really, really shines through. I'd love to see the kid get a big result. I have no doubt that big results are coming for Andy Wilson in the very near future. But yeah, absolutely loves the game. I remember one time, actually, we were in EPT Prague and he came over to chat to me. I was chatting with Daniel Dvorak, and he just absolutely bombarded Daniel Dvorak with poker strategy, like telling him like very, and Daniel was like, he was like literally, obviously Daniel's someone that obviously is incredibly talented poker player. And I think he didn't know what was going on. He was quite shocked. Darwin obviously making a very, very strong holding on the river. And this extra ace beefs up, the strength of the 8, right? It's now less likely Darwin has an ace. And you've got a jack kicker that plays as well. So if Darwin were going thin with 8-9, you beat that as well. And another big pot, we said these guys wouldn't be perturbed by losing a few chips, and Darwin making a big comeback up into 3rd in chips and right back in the hunt with 50 big blinds.
Rosero says, what were those flaming skulls at the top? That is the flaming Barry, because when there is an ace on the river, it is referred to as the Barry Greenstein, because Barry wrote a book called Ace on the River. So when an ace hits the river, it's often referred to as the Barry Greenstein. And we created the Flaming Barry because it can be this moment of fury for players when they get done by Barry. So that's how it started.
There you go. Yeah, he had a book, right? Ace on the River. I think I bought a copy of it. Some strategy books, it's like the moment where a certain book strategy gets into your hands. I think I was a bit, not that I was so ahead of the curve ever in terms of strategy, but I remember getting Ace on the River, and it's like almost like a bit of a lifestyle book, right? I think it was telling me like, don't lend money. Already after I'd done my money in 100 different ways, but it was like, don't lend people money, or like, don't do your money in the pits. It's got these deluxe pages, and then like just this odd little tidbits of information. So this naked queen for Crown Up guy feels a bit awkward to fold, feels a bit awkward to call, feels a bit of an overplay to raise. Very difficult spot against this big sizing, and does relinquish his equity. Ace deuce suited, definitely a hand you could consider 3-betting here. Does call, perhaps inclined to pick offsuit ones to bluff with. Omaha for a snap,
rolls.
checking back the flop.
Now a 93% favorite with a pair of 9s.
Yeah, and you can see,
And
I mean,
still good.
Maybe Laszlo takes this line against any player, but I think that you can perhaps sense people are extra bit cautious against Iron Lock Box about opening the action, putting in flop bets with, light protection turn bets with hands that don't want to get raised. They really fear the aggression that he has, the close hand reading that he's capable of, the way he can put you into awkward decisions. If you sort of define your hand by giving away a bet sizing tell or a timing tell, or you utilize the wrong blockers to bluff with. And now Jack 10 off. He picks for 3-bet and forces a fold from the superior hand.
So Fedor now the shortest stack at this 4-handed final table, but still has 40 big blinds. No one is short right now. And we obviously saw a lot of consolidation in the stack, Sam, by virtue of losing 5 players inside of 50 minutes.
Yeah, and obviously now we see a lot of this blind-on-blind confrontation, limp pots. People, what's exciting is to see these guys play wide ranges. Obviously, when we were playing 9-handed, we saw those kind of confrontations. Dominic's ace-king against Laszlo's pocket 10s and such like. That's what tends to happen in full ring poker, right? You're waiting for these hand-over-hand setup situations. Now, it's a lot more of a grind, right? He's going to need a real caller to get in 40 or 50 big blinds. In the meantime, these guys are sort of jockeying positions, grinding it out, trying to chip away at each other.
Tidy says, get Tonka back and this will be done in 20 minutes, implying that Tonka has some like William H. Macy type power to ensure that there's a cold deck on every single hand.
Kind of guy considering squeezing the ace-5 off here. Obviously, Fedor has very aggressive instincts. And really tricky for Omaha for rolls. Sort of kind of capped here, but you don't have your strongest hands when you flat the small blind here. But Queen Jack, such a beautiful looking hand, and he's going to know. Wow, going to know. I was about to say going to know he's up against some light squeezes. Wasn't expecting the back raise there.
The back raise,
and it's interesting to note how Laszlo has played very strong pre-flop play. We saw him get 4-bet earlier by I'm Lockbox's King 4 suited and just piled in the pocket 9s for a 5-bet when, you just can't, you're probably not even going to ever be flipping when you get called. There again, the Queen Jack suited just suspects crown up guy is at it and is going to have too many light squeezes and just powers it in with Queen Jack suited again, almost essentially as a sort of pre-flop bluff, so to speak.
Oh,
now going after I'm Lockbox's 3-bet.
Is this a case of, I think you're 3-betting me from the big blind because you're the chip leader?
Yes,
because
absolutely.
Okay, the reason I ask is, if I'm thinking about ICM considerations, and I'm not sure that they should be considerations, do you really want to be getting into it with the only player at the table who can bust you?
Well, you definitely are allowed to click it there very, very occasionally. I think King 10, not really the hand that you're supposed to do it with. And you see that he's so polarized when he clicks it back that I'm Lockbox then clicks it again. This is something I think these guys have been working on. Like, when the bluffs, I think the bluffs that Michael is expecting Laszlo to have are hands like ace deuce off, ace 3 off, ace 4 off, hands that can't peel. They're not going to be the suited hands. The suited hands are going to flat. So when they go for that click 4-bet, you can then click it again, both with your bluffs when you have an ace deuce off or ace 4 off, and then with aces and ace king suited and such like. So, as I say, Michael, so well studied. And if you get out of line in your frequencies, if you come out, he knows his own image, right? And he knows his own frequencies.
Yeah.
He's going to, obviously it's quite easy to play the ace king suited. We should say that. But Omaha for rolls really has to be careful about not playing back at against a covering stack or against the same stack size. But, we're really seeing some sort of street fighting here now. Omaha for rolls, stylistically, someone that, will take the gloves off, won't be sort of bound by sort of GTO play, and will fight you with aggression. And against Fedor, it worked out when Fedor had the ace-5. They're running into it when Unlockbox has the ace-king suited. Going for a thin value bet with the deuce of spades.
Yeah, and we had 2 pair on the turn for Darwin with the straight flush draw, and the 9 high flush is good.
Yeah, Darwin's considering a raise here, I think. He's feeling like
it does raise.
This sizing is going to be a straight quite often. The very, very occasional 2 pair. And Michael gets it away from his hand. Nice fold from Adamo.
So
and that's a bit of a
Fedor
problem
has
for the
down to 30 bigs now, right? Just saying that, but by no means short stack, by no means in the danger zone, but Fedor's gone from 40 to 30, and it's kind of like, seems to be kind of staying out of the way of most of these battles right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the danger zone is a little bit different when you're playing high stakes poker, right? With 30 big blinds, you can open the button and Darwin can shove on you with pocket 4s and you have to call off ace queen, right? Like that, the money can go in. With 50 big blinds, 60 big blinds, there's a lot less likely there's going to be, takes a real cooler for there to be a pre-flop confrontation. So, that puts Fedor a little bit more at risk, but of course, such a strong player, so experienced as well. And he's by no means out of it. Could very easily come back and win this tournament.
Well, it's another blind on blind situation. Domination Nation in Mike Adamo's favor, and he's still better than a 4-1 favorite post flop.
Yeah, both. In this instance, both players going to be very happy with the strength of their hands, both with hands that can sort of win at showdown. Michael going to be considering just value betting, protecting the king high. Feels look, it's not quite strong enough. Going to be against ace high quite often, and obviously doesn't want to get check raised off the king 10 high. Yeah, tends to be when one player has nothing or a very strong hand, and that they start to, that's what drives the action in poker, right? When someone is polarized, someone has a really good hand or a weak hand they want to bluff with. In this instance, both these guys just with, in a blind on blind confrontation, king high, essentially a medium strength hand, especially with the 9 kicker or the 10 kicker.
So if you have just joined us, this is the first final table that we've streamed from Scoop 2021, the 10K high roller, and look at this. Kings for Fedor Holtz, crown up guy, and pocket jacks for Simon Matson, seed Darwin 2. It is Omaha for rolls, Laszlo Butchers, who opens with queen 10.
Yeah, and this is 2 incredibly strong holdings in four-handed poker. Darwin just going to be deciding whether to put in a small 4-bet or to shove. Probably will go for the 4-bet, just because some hands you're going to have here, you're going to want to get away from if 2 players go all in. Can sort of commit himself to crown up guy, but get away from his hand if Omaha for roll shoves. And crown up guy, of course, going to be very, very happy with the pocket kings.
Yep, gets it in as a commanding favorite. And kings hold, and Fedor gets the full double up. Now it's seed Darwin 2, Simon Matson, who becomes the shortest stack, but is not short stacked of this four-handed final table. I was just in the midst of explaining that we are down to the final four from a starting field of 116. That was 89 unique players with 27 re-entries. They played into the money and down to a final table last night, came back with 9 about an hour and a half ago, and we got down to 4 pretty quickly, but as you can see, deep stacks and an epic short-handed battle taking place between these 4 very talented, very accomplished players.
Yeah, I mean, 4 of the very, very best. And you got to feel a bit here for Simon. Obviously, because these guys are all superstars, we tend to not have as much sympathy. But, you know, he was the shortest stack down to 800K. Won hand after hand after hand. Obviously, had that fortunate hand where he flopped a flush against Michael. And then got his chip stack all the way back up. And then an unfortunate caller, and now he sinks right back to being the short stack. So, you know, obviously we know with a player of C. Darwin's caliber, there's going to be no problems with his mentality. But it is a little bit, you know, for a lot of us, it would be demoralizing to have built yourself back up and then have such a, what is essentially a really great spot with the pocket jacks and find yourself on the wrong end of a caller.
Top pair versus second pair here.
Fedor with a lightish value raise pre-flop, flopping second pair and a gut shot. Still a strong hand in this situation. You know, Omaha for rolls won't be feeling super excited about the ace-6 here.
Should we probably highlight once again, Sam, that Fedor came second in the turbo, close to a win in event number 7, and is guaranteed a top 4 finish in event number 6. That's a pretty strong way to start Scoop.
I mean, this guy's just, I mean, I remember they did a poll recently about sort of players with natural talent, and Fedor has such strong poker instincts. I think he's someone that now has studied a little bit as well, and he just caught up almost overnight. You know, he came back to the game after a pause. He's going to be value betting, by the way, the straight. And Omaha for rolls does have a bluff catcher. If we imagine crown up guys, you know, crown up guys also going to have some 3-6 offsuits. That's the reason Omaha for rolls pays off in that situation. A6 are more than legitimate, but bluff catcher. Yeah, I mean, he came back to the game after a pause where he'd only been playing a few times a year. But I think what people, you know, need to understand is players that did it before sort of studying and solvers were around tend to pick things up so much more quickly because they've just got sort of mind that's very, very attuned to poker strategies and can absorb poker strategies and sort of delineate further strategies from just a little bit of knowledge. And, you know, his results since he came back to the game, I think he did a YouTube video outlining how much he'd won. And, you know, he's a humble guy. I don't think he thinks of himself as the best player in the world, but he's right up there, you know, in amongst the very, very best. He's a really, really talented guy.
I mean, we could reel off all of Fedor's results. We could do that with any of the players at the table. I prefer to highlight this one hashtag fun fact that the team dug up today, which is that Fedor got his IQ tested while still at school. And back then it was 155. By point of comparison, Albert Einstein's IQ was 160.
So basically, if Albert Einstein played poker, he would be slightly better than Crown Up Guy. He would be a modicum of a favorite in a heads-up battle. Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. Assuming
it's a shame Albert Einstein isn't around right now, because otherwise I'm sure Bryn Kenny or you know, Daniel Negreira or someone would have called him out and said, "Hey, Albert, it's all very well E equals MC squared, but I challenge you to a live heads-up sit and go on Poker Go." That would have happened to Einstein by now, I'm sure.
Slow down, Sam, because you've jumped far too many steps ahead. First, you have to have the overly contrived Twitter beef. That's where it starts. Then you get to the challenge for the heads up.
Yeah, obviously, Crown Guy repping Poker Code as well, which is his strategy platform where him and Matthias Eibinger, you know, you can learn from those guys. Really, really, really strong poker player. And, you know, I'm Luckbox with the chip lead here. Darwin the shortest, and Omaha for rolls, and Crown Up Guy in the middle. I'm Luckbox will decide whether to flick it in from the big blind. Does call. And everyone getting a piece here, essentially. Ace of Spades is very powerful in this situation, just because Omaha for rolls is going to, you know, be flatting suited hands very, very often. On this board, not too many flushes they can have. Everyone content to check through. Obviously, Queen 8, kind of a super straight with the Jack, although someone obviously can have King Queen. And he'll probe from the big blind. Raise or call for Darwin. I'd love to see a raise here, actually. I think that might be quite a nice way to play it. Sometimes knock Omaha for rolls off a better hand. Does just call in position. Guess that's what you'd want to do with most of your flushes. And the river bricks.
So just to be clear, the best hand folded, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm Luckbox. Waves the white flag. Rare give up from Michael.
I know that Tonko talked about the events he played last night, including this one. Sam, did you play any of the events on day one of Scoop, or were you thinking, got to do commentary on day two, so I can't afford to make a day two?
No, I donated 10K to the prize pool right here for this. I played this event. Yeah, I played everything, of course. Absolutely, yeah. No bueno, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll be flicking in for Scoop for sure.
I didn't see your name on the list. Sorry, I was looking down.
Yeah, I definitely. I look right down near the bottom. Some sort of inauspicious 97th place bust out for Sam Squid.
Right.
See it? Yeah, it's there. So normally this is a board that the initial raiser doesn't hit very hard, but Crown Up Guy, one of the advantages to raising this hand is you do get a bit of board coverage, flopping the top pair and the straight draw to go with it. Don't think this is a board I think that you're going to see Omaha for rolls attack very, very often. Don't know whether Ace 8 has exactly the right properties. Does float one off and might have been doing so, feeling that this kind of turn card he could then attack on. Crown Up Guy doesn't open much 5x and checks a lot of them on the flop, and we may see a lead here. The ace of clubs as backup. This, if you think about it, is very, very believable. Obviously, we can see with 7-6, with the gut shot and the top pair not going anywhere, it's very believable that Omaha for rolls might have a 5. And now 7-8 comes in.
6, 7, 8, 9. That's...
And I don't think we're going to see Laszlo give up here.
For a moment there, I legitimately thought the Fedor had driven a straight. I literally had to count that out.
And look at
it's been a long
the power
day, Sam.
of this play. And this is an Omaha mentality, right? This is a board that switched in the favor of the big blind. The second pair pairing, the straight draw coming in. Now, Fedor does have a 7 in his hand. Not going to be the case very often, but even then can't make the call.
Wow.
And Laszlo finding a way to win the hand where almost no one else would be. So few players are going to, you know, have the... It's all about the check call there. The subtlety of the play doesn't go for the front door aggression with the check raise. Check calls, and then, you know, obviously gets a very advantageous turn card to allow him to take the pot away from Fedor. But really, really interesting hand. And, you know, go ahead.
One thing I noticed, Sam, very quickly is that Fedor hardly had any time back left, right? He had less than 10 seconds to make a decision. Would that have factored into it at all?
Yes, obviously it's not fun to make a hero call for twice pot within 8 or 9 seconds. I agree that's, he in the end he's sort of erred on the side of caution. Laszlo now checking the nuts on the river, and Fedor gonna probably look to value bet himself here. Does go with a decent size.
I'm glad, by the way, there are people watching who also thought Fedor had a straight there.
And again, a tough spot for Crown Up Guy. I think what he's thinking is, doesn't a diamond bet the turn very often, or even the flop? What diamonds does he bet himself on the turn? Does relinquish? And I think it makes sense to fold the 6 of diamonds, relatively low in your value betting range.
Well, very excited about the Snowmen's for I'm Luckbox, but Omaha for Rolls does have jacks, has the dominating pair, has opened on the button.
Yeah, and this is something we're seeing more and more at final tables. In this instance, Omaha for Rolls doesn't get in worse than pocket 8s, so they therefore go into the flatting range of the big blind. And they're very strong looking on this 7-4 deuce board. Very rare that the big blind's going to have an overpair to this board. Might look to check raise for some protection. It is a big sizing, though, for Omaha for Rolls, and he's someone that perhaps, bets a bit more his hand strength than being sort of bound by certain rules. Could be a 7x, though, that you can get value from and protection. And how does Omaha for Rolls proceed? Does he 3-bet the flop and look to play for stacks? Or does he look for... He just jams.
Wow.
And this is a tough spot for I'm Luckbox. Quite often, I mean, it's not going to be a 7 very often, you wouldn't imagine. Quite often it'd be 2 overcards and a flush draw. I think what Michael's thinking is, could it be 5-6? Could it be 3-5? Are there any situations where I'm in great shape? This is a lot of money going in. And this is the first time we've seen Michael in a really difficult spot. Will he make the right decision against Omaha for Rolls' exact hand? He does call it off.
Wow. And jacks hold, Sam, and that is a huge change in the dynamic at this 4-handed final table, because Laszlo Bushtas, Omaha for Rolls, now has 6.7 million. And Mike Adamo, who at one point was putting distance between himself and the rest of the field, is now the short stack with 874k. He's got fewer than 20 bigs.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where Laszlo's aggressive style, his all-action approach to the game pays dividends. They're electing to just rip it in with the overpair and let I'm Luckbox decide what part of his value check raising range he's gonna call off. And yeah, huge change in fortunes. Omaha for Rolls, a commanding chip lead. And this is really nice for Crown Up Guy to have trip 5s here, by the way. This is a board, again, it's going to really favor the big blind. They're going to have way more 5x. But no backdoors and no overcards. Omaha for Rolls thinking better of it. And what's going to be exciting now is to see Laszlo, who we've, as I say, has employed this very action-oriented style on this final table with a big chip lead. Let's see how he wields the big stack with Darwin and Crown Up Guy being somewhat handcuffed by Michael on under 20 big blinds. You're going to see him. Oh, I thought he might open the Queen 5 off there, actually. But we're definitely going to see.
I'm interested.
Huffleross try and take advantage. Go ahead, James.
I'm interested to see when we get to the break, which is now less than 60 seconds away, Sam, whether we come into that break with the same 4 players we entered the last break with. And no real shock that with the fast rate of eliminations during the first session that we would not lose a single player during the second hour of play.
Yeah, I mean, the stack's really condensed. I mean, it's also I think we've all been at final tables where the short stack continually doubles up. No one seems to bust. But the other thing that was quite unique is the short stack was eliminated every single time there was a flip or a 60-40 confrontation.
Yeah. Well, they are taking a 5-minute break from event number 6. We're going to go across the Poker 5. We're going to drop in for some PLO action. So this is the event we were referencing earlier on. Came back with 22 players on day 2. Pretty stacked field. And at this table, Sam, we have got Wizzo. We have got Ola Shemian, a player with 4 Scoop titles, including 2 from last year. Other notable names remaining: Ludovic Geilich still going strong, Talal Shakurchi, Raidalot still in, and Jerry O'Dean, Perry Mason, who's at this table with Shemian.
Yeah, Jerry, really nice kid, and won his bracelet in a No Limit Hold'em Omaha sort of mixed rotation. He'll be a very strong competitor in this field as well. Always nice to check in with the legend himself, Wizzo. Such a character on the live circuit, and an online phenom, an online beast as well. We mentioned earlier, me and Tonka were talking about mixed games. I'm always in awe of these guys who are so good in No Limit Hold'em, but also can mix it up, with 4 cards and in other variants as well.
So
I'm a little bit
opened.
yeah, a little bit above my pay grade here. Obviously, we can see Ace 4, 10-10. Not that connected, but it's kind of nice because if you flop the 10 of hearts, you have a flush draw, backdoor flush draw to go with your set. And queens, I guess, a natural flat on the button.
$45 into 227, called by Tigons. He still has the best of it right now.
And both players turn a flush draw, right? An overpair and a flush draw. And it runs out. So the queens are still good.
Yeah. Shemian had obviously the significantly better flush draw.
I guess it plays the same now where you don't want a flush draw. He does go for it. Blocking 4's full. I assume this is a bluff, right? It's not a value bet with 10s.
No. And successfully gets a better hand to fold.
There we go. I'm sure Omaha fans in chat gonna be maybe it wasn't a value bet. This shows how little I know about the game. I did, in the spirit of Scoop, I will say that I played. I think there was a $500 PLO 6 max. Is that correct? Or $100 PLO, $200 PLO 6. In the spirit of Scoop. Oh wow, Perry Mason all in and eliminated.
Yeah, out in 14th place, taking us down to 13 in this 2K PLO event. Sam, you have to remember there are 306 tournaments on the Scoop schedule. So when you say, I think there was a 530 PLO, chances are, yes, there was.
I mean, there was only 12, right? There was only 12 events yesterday, and only 3 of them were PLO. Anyway, I think I played the medium of this. This is the high. I played the medium. I gave the boys a little bit of a spin.
Well, the Apollo is super short, and it's all going to go in here.
68% favorite with the Ace King 10-4.
Goes behind on the turn, but gets there on the river. Diapollo doubles up, so they will continue with 13 players in that PLO. We are going to go back to the final table. This is the 10K high roller. Started yesterday, played down to the final table last night, and now 4 players remain. Laszlo Bujtas is the chip leader. Michael Adamo is the short stack. And we are welcoming Joe Stapleton back to proceedings.
Hello,
Joe,
my
are you
babies.
excited for some four-handed action?
I am. It's been four-handed for some time. It's almost like I didn't miss anything.
You missed some significant changes in the chip stacks, and clearly you can see that Mike Adamo has gone from being chip leader to short stack.
Oh, so one of the best players in the tournament has lost a bunch of chips, and another one of the best players in the tournament has gained a bunch of chips.
Correct.
I see as soon as her ball's here. Oh. 10 on the turn. Defo the best hand. 9-5 of diamonds does have a gut shot. And finally, these two players hit a diamond. Unbelievable.
Don't forget this.
Don't forget the flaming berry. The flaming blueberry diamond. See Darwin firing off a bet. Can he get third pair to fold? I'm going to say no, but, you know, what do I know? Hey, I was right for once. Omaha for rolls up to 7 million. And Fedor does not raise King Jack. Goes check, check, ace on the turn. Pair of sixes the best hand, and the 5 of hearts the best draw. Fedor does not bet King High on the turn either. And Omaha for rolls. Value betting this 6, no problem. Fedor does have some showdown value with King High, but does not make the call. Makes the correct laydown. Pocket nines now for Fedor.
Queen 9 for the short stack in the big blind.
All right, guys, we're going to let James Hardigan take a little break, bring Sam Grafton back into the booth, try to work out some of these mic issues. And we've got old Graf, the Graf Tickle is here. And sorry, guys, about the audio clips going on. Yeah, different guy, Graf Tickle. I shouldn't confuse everybody.
I'll take credit for that screen name. So Michael feeling queen high, that it's sort of strong enough to have to call on the flop. Occasionally, Fedor going to have raised a hand like, 5-7 off or some junk 9-4 off and such like. So he calls not necessarily to bluff with the queen 9, but just, as part of a sort of defending range and beating crown up guys worse opens. And, we talked about we've talked a lot about how strong Michael is, but here what we're going to see is how well he competes with a short stack. You know, Darwin obviously was pegged back from having a big stack to a shorter stack, and these guys do play all the stack sizes really well. Crown Up Guy going for a bit of value on the river here with the pocket nines. Obviously won't be betting ace high for this sizing, so queen nine is a bluff catcher, and he does call with the queen high. Getting stubborn with queen high, and really nice value bet from Crown Up Guy.
And we should be seeing Adamo all in here. And it's going to be a flip if Laszlo makes the call.
Does call.
Does. Sevens holding. Sevens continue to hold. Sevens held. Straight on the river.
And
double up.
Yeah, and everyone will be disappointed to see Michael double up. Laszlo, of course, but particularly C. Darwin, who would have been really, really nice if you're in C. Darwin's shoes to see a player eliminated. You're kind of freed up. Now has the same stack as I'm Luckbox.
And we've got a pair of eights for Luckbox and a gut shot open ender for Omaha. 6, 7, 8, 9, the 10. No, nobody makes a straight on the turn.
Yeah,
Weird.
they need each other's cards.
Omaha.
Michael, of course, not going anywhere with an open ender and a pair.
And the open ender does connect on the river.
Yeah, and this is a card that I think Laszlo will very, very often sort of rep this straight. He has a lot more sevens in his defending range than I'm Luckbox has in his opening range. And he can really pressurize a hand like ace-9 on this river. I would expect Laszlo to go for it here. But actually picks a more subtle sizing, a blocking bet.
He went.
As if he has the two pair or such like. And we know obviously this isn't going to work. Guess there are a few hands that want to go this sizing. Maybe a queen jack. Maybe, I don't know. And
it's going to fold too, unfortunately. And the jam gets a fold. I'm Luckbox from shortest stack in the tournament has climbed out of the basement. Now in immediate danger is C. Darwin. Simon Matson raising king 8 suited from the button. Fedor defends, hits bottom pair, but it's top pair for Darwin.
Yeah, a little bit of a collision here. Top pair over second pair. This king 8 suited looks very, very clean on this board with the backup flush draw as well, and the king kicker. Nice spot to be in.
Darwin betting pretty big here.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. When your opponent doesn't have many two pairs, also you want to like and look at this.
Darwin now likely facing extinction.
And the lead, very common when second pair pairs. And Darwin in deep trouble, because even if you sort of believe this, you can't be folding top pair with such a strong kicker in a button versus big blind confrontation. Definitely, we're going to go to a river. And this is a very precarious situation for C. Darwin.
Crown Up Guy says 185,500. What does Simon says?
I assume Darwin isn't thinking about anything other than call.
Says call.
And now bottom pair pairs as well. This is going to give Crown Up Guy some very, very clean river value bets. But look at the bluffs that miss. Look at the potential bluffs: 4-7, 6-7, 7-9. Darwin doesn't interfere with any of those combinations with King 8. This is a very clean top pair. Even the backdoor flush and overcards that might float the flop, very difficult to get away from this hand. You know, you're not up against just a random player where we won't find the bluffs. And Darwin does pay and is eliminated.
Does not find the bluff, finds the full house, 5 full of threes. There goes C. Darwin. Simon Matson out in fourth, $118,256. We're down to 3. Everybody's still in contention for that $254,000. Over $150,000. 2 pair on this flop for Omaha for rolls.
Yeah, and it's just remarkable how Crown Up Guy does it. Now very much in contention, 3-handed for this 10K high roller title.
I'm Luckbox now, the short stack.
Yeah, and you got to feel a little bit for Darwin, I think. Supremely talented player, doesn't need any consolations from me, I'm sure. But, didn't run so good. Ran jacks into Crown Up Guys, kings, and that also, I think, is a bit of a cooler, really. On the 8-5 deuce, King 8 so strong, and Crown Up Guy going to lose a decent bit of money with the Queen 5, but instead, turns the 5 and couldn't, even a river where all the draws, all the bluffs remain intact for Crown Up Guy, forced to pay off reluctantly with the King 8. Very, very unfortunate situation for C. Darwin. We'll be seeing more of him, this scoop. And going forward, I'm sure, obviously, a legend of the game.
Yes, we're very likely to see C. Darwin tomorrow.
Yes. See you on Wednesday, C. Darwin, for another final table. And Crown Up Guy, unafraid of the jack, knows the strength of the ace-6 in a blind-on-blind confrontation. And good fold, I think, from Laszlo. Threes. A lot of the bluffs, 3-7, 3-5, going to contain a 3, so doesn't get stubborn with the pocket threes. Nice fold from Omaha for rolls. I think a lot of players would have been tempted to call the turn there, knowing you can boat up and are good sometimes.
I would have.
I started with a...
I would have been tempted to call threes there. It's hard to put your opponent on ace-6.
Sure. So Unlock Bucks with the gut shot might think about check raising here. There we
buddy,
go.
Look at that. Glorious check raise. What kind of check raise that would get you banned from a casino pre-2007?
Think of how impolite a player Michael Adamo would be considered in the old days as stud.
So
He's like the
rude.
rudest player in the game.
You bet with 5 high? 86th.
Wow.
Station, but
Wow.
no, it's a 5 on the river. The miracle 5. I mean, this will definitely get you banned if you go check here and you have to show your 5.
Michael thinking about what he can fold. Does he show down for some of the pot here with a 5? Does feel he... And now, well, can Laszlo pick up on the fact that King Jack high is... No, he doesn't. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand that.
I mean, well, what are you supposed to do there, man? I mean, come on.
And obviously, Luckbox was all in and at risk with those 7s. Now up over 30 big blinds. And although still the shortest stack, room to play, room to 3-bet, room to check raise. Definitely in back in contention.
It's a great point, newest member of.
Yes. And both players hitting. Omaha for rolls with an open-ended straight draw and flush draw, with basically an Omaha hand as well. But crown up guy.
I'm getting word
with
that people
a kick
didn't
in.
hear that last thing I said, but I want everyone to know it was hilarious. Oh, what
And
a
the 8
bricky
plays.
river, huh?
Look at that. The 8 plays. And crown up guy not been afraid to go for value so far this final table. With a limited time back, bets and gets paid.
Oof.
And further chips away at Omaha for rolls chip lead. Had a few reversals with that King Jack getting outdrawn on the river and losing the flip against I'm Luck Box. Not going to have things all his own way against these two. Yeah, there we go.
Ah, deserved.
Crown Up guy's probably
I was
been hit by
surprised the
more
throw ball didn't come out
horseshoe.
after the river
Yeah, go on.
5. That's when I would have
Yeah.
I would have fired off all of them. And we've got a pair of 3s now for Fedor, who's on a little mini heater, not nothing,
Yeah,
you know,
this
you're
is a
super enthused about, but showing down winners is important at this stage.
Absolutely. And great turn card here. The 6-3 really grows in strength on that turn card. You can feel so much more comfortable protecting and value betting your hand.
Fedor with Queen 8 on the button. Seems good enough for a poke. Omaha for rolls 7-3. Lets it go. And we've got some playable hands here. Adamo kicking things off with a raise with 9-8 off. Queen Jack for Omaha. And Fedor makes the call. 3 ways of the flop. 10 high. Top pair for Crown Up. Second pair for Mike Adamo. And a gut shot with 2 overs for Omaha for rolls. Here we go. This is your TV highlight hand. 10 on the turn. Trips for Fedor.
Yeah, and Omaha for rolls, I don't know what his flatting range looks like, but you would imagine it has quite a lot of 10x. And blocking the flush draw might be wanting to take a stab here.
And there is a little poke.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know whether you're betting much 8x or pocket 6s here. Like, as in, do you have much 8x? I don't know whether the sizing should be a little bit bigger. Maybe Crown Up guy will sniff it out. Yeah, does raise, not letting him see get to the river for cheap. And how does Michael rate his 8x now? Obviously, this 9-8
well.
got stronger on the 10 turn. Could he be up against a Queen 9 or a Jack 9 or a flush
Wowee.
draw?
The overcall from Adamo. $1 million
Yeah.
in the middle.
And sometimes your hand is dead here against King 10 or 10-9 or even pocket 8s, right? I mean, almost never, but very occasionally. So, well, I don't know. Who knows what Laszlo's going to do? Maybe he's just going to...
I mean, this is an argument for the slightly smaller bet he just made, right?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I just mean that perhaps these good players are going to sniff out that you're not going to bet that size with a 10. And that you're just trying to kind of buy a river or like get away with a cheap bluff. I don't know.
Well, luckily Fedor didn't have to sniff it out because he has the hand that Omaha was repping. So
yeah, and goes big, hoping that I'm Luck Box is going to bet ace 10 on the flop. So that the King 10 very, very, very strong. goes for value. And obviously, with that amount of action, at 9-8, an easy fold. But yeah, you're about to say,
5
Joe.
million.
Yeah, absolutely. Very strong 20 minutes for Crown Up Guy. And one thing to say about the sort of, well, Omaha for rolls, flopping, trips, no kicker here. On a board that's very favorable for the opener. I mean, Crown Up Guy might go for this. At least at some frequency, we're going to see some big betting with this holding. Doesn't, checks
River's
back,
9.
perhaps feeling like ace, maybe just bluff with some weaker hands than 9-10. Checks back, outdraws. What does he outdraw? Not that much. Ace 10, he now beats.
Yep. Outdraws Queen 4. Does pay off a river value bet.
That's right.
And such is the nature of online poker, we have moved on already.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about these guys is they don't Hollywood or take too long. There's a little bit of balancing with timings on flops and pre-flop, but it's pretty fast action here.
I mean, there's a very small chance that these guys have one table open, so that's one reason to not Hollywood. You got other decisions to make.
Yeah. By the way, Michael. Yeah, Mike.
Ooh, here we go. The all-in from Adamo. Trying to pick up some dead money.
Ace 8, right on the cusp.
So close. Makes the call. Adamo needs to hit. Excuse me, did hit his 9, and that's a second double up for Adamo. Both times doubling through Omaha for rolls.
Yeah, and I'm Luckbox doubling up to about half the stack of the other two. And again, will be frustrating for both Crown Up Guy and Omaha for rolls not to eliminate such a strong player. It's a little bit of a weird one. Crown Up Guy with bottom 2 on a monotone board. I'm Luckbox with that pretty strong looking Queen of Spades. You can see 36% equity, even though he's unpaired. And bottom 2 in this exact scenario is a little awkward to play. Does check raise. Really hoping Michael has something like an ace deuce of hearts or something like that, that he can get value from.
And Luckbox makes the call with the queen high spade draw, misses the turn. Turn's not particularly bad for Fedor.
Yeah. Weird SBR. What size does Crown Up Guy go here? Goes big. And I would imagine this gets a fold from Michael. See, he beats a hand like 5-8 with a spade or 7-8 with a spade. But occasionally we'll be up against the king of spades, and for that reason, just folds. And it's actually Fedor who has the chip lead for what it's worth, as we have a king high against king high confrontation.
Quietly taking that lead. Luckbox dipping back down below 2 million, and blinds are going up to 30,000, 60,000. Here in Scoop buy-in, a $10,000 buy-in. event here. The first of many streams we'll be bringing you throughout the course of the 2021 Scoop. I think it's 21 days of streaming. Day one.
Yeah, quarter of a million first prize, not to be sniffed at. See, we know that these three individuals play very, very high buy-ins, but 250K, really great start to anyone's Scoop.
Fedor gets the call, manages to hang on to the chip lead by just a few little gaming discs. Have a pop right in the face.
Yeah, and doesn't open the do six into Michael. I mean, one thing is that, I mean, it's slightly different now. He's chipped up more, but he's a little bit freer from ICM pressure as the short stack. When you're really in trouble is when you're a middle stack and you can't bust before someone that, or you're really incentivized to not be all in before someone who's shorter. When you're the very shortest stack, like Michael is, it's a little, you can play a little bit closer to chips. Hence why he shoved the king nine suited, for instance.
Overpair versus a gut shot. You hate to see it. You hate to see the 8 here.
Well, this isn't the board you're looking for with kings, right? Because just there's so many runouts where it's very hard to value bet your hand, where your hand's going to get turned into a bluff catcher versus aggression. So elects to put it into his checking range.
Checks a second time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes Omaha for Rolls isn't going to even have an overcard to the kings. And Laszlo's instincts kicking in, such an aggressive player, trying now to take this pot away. I'm Luckbox, not going anywhere with pocket kings.
And kings are safe.
Flush comes in, 10-8 comes in. Obviously, a 7 can still value bet. But how many of these combos is Laszlo going to have, and how does he determine which ones to bluff with between the king 8s, the queen 8s, the king 6s, the 6-4 suiteds? Gotta be controlled here. What does have a heart in his hand and does go for a pot bet, repping a hand stronger than kings.
Hey, all right. Adamo makes the call. You could hear me just sighing at the thought of having to fold kings there, but kings make the call. Luckbox up over 3 million now for the first time in a while. Basically even with Omaha for rolls, raising pocket jacks at the very next hand. Another 3-way flop. Queen high.
Could we get the even Stevens emoji up, please?
Oh,
Joe,
yeah.
come on, do your job.
I haven't had access to these in a long time, so
yeah.
I forgot that I can even press them, to be honest. That 9 on the turn gives Omaha a pair.
Yeah, crown up guy with a gut shot as well as the third pair now. I think Omaha for roll is going to have a lot of queen X in his flatting range, queen 10s, queen jacks, and such like. It's giving everyone a little bit of concern.
Queen's brutal, but it's running 9s.
Wow.
These are the ones, I don't know. Sam, I know that you guys, you professional poker players, right? It's all about the skill. It's all about playing your best all the time. But when this happens, this has got to feel pretty great, right? Like, this just feels amazing when it goes running 9s here.
Yeah, with the ace kicker as well. And actually, I think this is a small misstep from the legend himself. Seems a lot of money to put in with the 8 no kick, like no kicker. Does get called, and now Omaha for rolls. Look how much money's out there. Absolutely brilliant. And I think we're going to see the check raise here. from Laszlo.
There it is. Glorious. That's
Yeah,
right,
I mean,
John
this is-
Delano. This is the dream.
Now, just to point out, if this was only Jack 10 that he was repping, which is going to be a hand that might take this line, Jax is a very, very good bluff catcher in this spot, right? If his value range, like, the thing is does he have sevens? Does he have eights? Does Laszlo check those on the turn? Does he always check raise this size with 9, 10, and ace 9? Does fold the jacks? And Michael that was definitely some real thought. Came to the right decision against Omar Varol's exact hand, and I think against a very, very big sizing as well. But must have been that was a genuine tank, I think, from Unlock Box.
I just want to remind everybody out there that
no.
we are experiencing some slight audio issues. Just want to say sorry, guys. We know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us, too. We're on it. We're going to do what we can. So apologies if things drop in and out. It's not your internet for once. I mean, maybe it also is. I don't know if you paid the bill or not, but we've got our own things. Players, I've missed this board. 5, 6, 7. Nope. King high.
Yeah, and we've got a genuine battle on our hands here for this title. Queen deuce going for the bluff on the river. Normally we think of people only bluffing with the low cards, but here Michael recognized, wow. Wow. These guys are animals. That's just an animal
so good.
play. Like,
Sometimes I'm glad the next hand just starts right away so I don't have to try to even understand what just happened.
No, this is such an animal. Yeah, but anyway, we had as we've talked about, the stack sizes really condensed very quickly. A whole flurry of eliminations. We left four supremely talented players, similar stack sizes. Someone had to be edged out. It was sort of, immovable objects meets irresistible force, and it was Darwin that was forced out. Now we've got three amazing players, all roughly the same stacks. Admittedly, Michael a little bit shorter, and this is really anyone's tournament. And these guys are battling hard against each other, and going to be really exciting to see who takes it down, because no one giving an inch.
Not to take away from the skill level of any of these players and to lump them all into the same pinnacle category, right? Like, I'm sure one of these players may be offended if I say they're all pretty even in skill level, but it is very much a game of musical chairs at this point. Like, they could just be running around that circle for a very long time, and who's just going to be the unlucky one that ends up not having a seat when the music stops?
Yeah, absolutely. And this 8 gonna be a card that Crown Up Guy maybe has just a little bit more than I'm Luck Box. In general, you don't want to bluff with flush draws, but I think this one with the deuce of spades, Crown Up Guy probably gonna go for it here. Does go for the bluff. We know it's not gonna work out. Michael now considering whether to raise or call. Would imagine he's gonna raise here. Obviously, the kicker not going to play very often when Crown Up Guy does have an 8.
And Fedor forced to fold. We're approaching an even Stevens situation for Luckbox and Fedor at this point. Thank you very much, by the way, Lex Feldhaus. Welcome, all you little beakers. Welcome to the Scoop. If you want to see late stages of Scoop, you probably, would have to watch a stream other than Lex's. Betting taking on the flop. We're down to the final 3 here, guys. If you're wondering what's going on, I'm Luckbox, a.k.a. Mike Adamo. We've got Crown Up Guy, Fedor Holtz. And we've got Omaha for rolls, who is Laszlo Bushtas. And things are pretty neck and neck here.
Yeah, and 100K difference here, three-handed, right? It's a big deal. It's 150K, no, more than that, 200K, sit and go. Essentially, these guys are playing. So very, very high stakes stuff. Fedor turning
rolls.
a pair.
7 still good on the turn.
Not going to show down for that much with the 6. Might think this is, no, it does check. Can use other Jack X, Jack Deuce, and Jack 3, I guess.
Seamus says, gonna need some big coolers to break this. Possibly, but, you know, these high rollers, they go pretty quickly, and the blinds are ever increasing. We're not super deep at this stage. King Jack versus 8 deuce, King high out in front, ace high flop. Fedor folds Jack 5 onto the blinds, 10-8 for Adamo. Adamo, Laszlo. Laszlo, big slip, 210K.
Big slick. Love that.
I didn't come up with that one.
No.
Believe it or not.
Slick.
It's one of the few.
Predates
One of the
even
few
you,
I don't
Justin.
lie about coming up with. Trip Kings.
Love. That was some hardcore jargon in the day. Big slick. Wow.
That was, I mean, that meant you knew what you were talking about if you knew the nicknames.
Oh.
Like, that was what equated to poker knowledge.
Yeah.
Was knowing that
that's
9
hardcore.
deuce was Montana Banana. You're like, oh, this guy knows Montana Banana. Don't mess with it. Like, just don't raise his blind.
This is a hand that Crown Up guy will isolate at least some of the time, I think.
Look at that.
Again, the blocker, unblocker, and Laszlo going to a flop. So frustrated. Queen Jacks. Look at this. Queen Jack in blue, whiffing the flop somehow.
But you mean always? Has anyone in chat,
Well,
anyone
I
at any
played with you.
point
I can't-
hit a hand with Queen Jack ever?
I can't have this. I mean, I'm pretty impressed that you've been silent. Our last meeting, Joe Stapleton, was you absolutely destroying me for like 6 or 7 buy-ins. Just absolutely, just literally on a live stream for 2 hours with you, just unable to win a solitary hand against you and James Halligan. I mean, you just demolished the table, Joe Stapleton. Absolute crushing.
The reason why I haven't said anything is because
you. I'm pretty surprised they didn't sign you for Team Pro. You know, if it had been going, if they tuned into that, you would be wearing the patch right now.
I ran well, but it was totally meaningless, which is why I would never like hold over you for this absolutely one solid 90 minutes where I only got outdrawn twice.
Yeah, no, it was good fun. It's good, a lot of fun. You played good, bro. I was loving it.
I mean, Maria, the next day said the same thing. She's like, "Oh, I just want you to know you played really well." And I was like, "It's easy to play well when you make hands." I haven't made a legitimate value bet in any of my home games in about 8 months.
Yeah, I know the feeling, bro. I know the feeling.
All right,
So,
we've got Fedor and Adamo.
yeah, Crown Up just trying to win it on the flop, clean up equity. I don't know if. I wonder how you select the barrels on this board here, blind or blind. Feels like probably a queen is not a great card to have. A little high in your range. And Luckbox going to be left with loads of these hands, right? Loads of 1 diamond and nothing cards, right? Which of them do you bluff on the turn? Which of them do you just take the equity with and check back? Checks back and makes a flush. And now Crown Up Guy might feel that he's low enough in his range, unpaired, to be able to bluff. Targeting a 5x doesn't. Again, I guess feeling he doesn't want the queen. And now will Michael value bet? You would presume so.
I mean, Fedor's so good, he knows how mad he'll be if he bluffs with queen here and gets called by a 7-high flush. Like, that's how good he is. He's just like, I just know how frustrated I'll be when I see the 7 of diamonds check.
Yeah. You know, you could, there's lots of things you could do. You could use a randomizer in that instance, or just think about, you know, just try and pick things a bit lower in your range.
Handy still, Sam. If you want to run some of the sims with this.
Wow. Look at this.
Omaha, 4 rolls, flopping the world.
Yeah, such a nice feeling. You boost it up with 4-9 against one of the best in the world. And unlock box, 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. These guys are so conscious of their, of getting the right defense frequency.
Oh, no. I'm Luckbox. I think you get an automatic screen name change after this turn card. I mean, I guess they're not drawing dead. If it comes running 10s, then I'm wrong, but I'm Luckbox. Just an absolute jail
draws, here. Yeah, all the draws out there, all the club draws, all the pure bluffs that Omaha for rolls might have. The straight draws, very dynamic turn card. Omaha for rolls going to have King Jackson and Michael going for value here on the turn. Feeling like Omaha for rolls' sizing isn't just a 4, isn't polarized to just a 4. And the king...
I mean, look, to be fair, he was beating one of his cards. The bigger one.
And I'm Luckbox going to possibly put it in here for value. And we know he'll be eliminated.
And that is it. Goodbye, Mike Adamo. I'm Luckbox, out in 3rd place, just over $150,000. We are now down to 2 players on the table. Well, you know how we do here on the PokerStars broadcast. We like to have a 3-2 possible. More commentators than players. Welcome back, James Hart, again.
Absolutely. And for the business end of this final table, the heads-up battle between these 2 titans, you got to bring the big guns out. And that's why we've got Sam Grafton here, ladies and gentlemen, to analyze the action as Omaha for rolls and Crown Up Guy play for the title and that first prize of more than $250,000. And worth highlighting again, I mean, we can see at the moment that it's Laszlo Bujtas who has the significant chip advantage. Fedor already has a 2nd place finish this scoop. 2nd in event number 7, which concluded last night. Fedor looking to go 1 better tonight, but worst case scenario, if Fedor does finish 2nd, that's 2 2s on the first day, effectively, of Scoop 2021.
What an animal. Omaha for rolls pulling out the race here. He's got a 9 in his hands. It's essentially a blocker, whatever. Now, I do think that whatever. Fedor's going to be watching this, and Laszlo does go for it. Perhaps a little too often. But
whoa.
No, I mean, to be honest, the deuce is a very bad card to have in your hand in that exact instance. You kind of want to block it to the straight, but pretty sick from Laszlo. I've got to say I'm a little bit disappointed, though. I really thought, Joe, you were like, Michael was eliminated, and then you were like, right, we're going to bring in another person. I thought Michael Adamo was going to pop up and I thought it was going to be like straight, fresh from his elimination. He's here to commentate. I thought it was going to be like some little bit of magic. A little bit disappointed in the production team there. Could we not,
nope, just Hart again.
It up, and then we get James Hart again. I was, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not good enough for you, Grafton. Jesus Christ, they give him a contract and a patch, and look what becomes of him. Look what he's turned into.
My goodness. Take it easy, Negreanu.
So here we are. Heads up.
Yeah. 30-60 blinds and playing at quite a fast pace now. And
Fedor's got 19 more scoops to play today. This won't even be his. He may not go 24 hours without a final table for the next 25 days.
Well, King Jack High still the best hand. Omaha for rolls 4-1 favorite here.
Yeah. Kind of go with the backdoor. Genuine tank, I think, on the sizing, or maybe even occasional checks with this holding. Goes for third pot. And again, crown up guy just
like the nuts here.
Yeah, you just can't go anywhere. And
domination rotation as crown up guy pairs his 8 on the turn and now becomes a 93% favorite.
Yeah, and that's, I think Laszlo will recognize that's a real bad card. Like 8-7, 8-6, you know, all of those combinations. I think you're going to want to bluff with like a Queen Jack, Jack 9 here. King Jack, not a great combo to do it with. Obviously, it's nice to not have spades.
Whoa. Shoves the turn with King Jack High. And Fedor has a decision whether to call all in here with second pair.
Wow, what a sicko.
What a spot.
Wow.
And does call. And gets done on the river.
Oh,
and it's over.
Oh, my. It does happen to the pros.
It is over just like that. Fedor calls it off as a and has to make do with a second place finish. For just shy of $200,000, it is Laszlo Bushtas, Omaha for rolls, who wins his third scoop, takes down the 10K high roller for $254,255.57. What a conclusion, and it happens so quickly online that we can't really do justice there. Sam, a huge call from Fedor, and then gets incredibly unlucky on the river.
Yeah, I mean, we would have had an amazing heads-up match on our hands there if Fedor had held and the stacks had even up. But, you know, part of the equity of making that play with King Jack is you do often have 2 overs. In this instance, just the 1 over, though, made it an absolutely sick river. But congratulations to Laszlo. Played a very, very strong final table and, you know, is a worthy scoop champion. Everyone deserves a little bit of luck at the end of the day.
Look, 24 hours
sits as the winner. And as we highlighted, Joe, third scoop win for Laszlo and the second place finish for Fedor Holtz in a 24-hour period.
Yeah, I said Fedor may not go 24 hours without making another final table, although we are going to have to factor in the amount of time it's going to take him to go down to Circuit City and get himself a new laptop after that river. He may miss a few hands after that run out.
Yeah. Well, we are going to be back tomorrow, guys. Event number 4, which started last night, is playing down to the final table tonight. In real time, they are at the final 2 tables. We'll pick up the action tomorrow when there are just 9 players vying for the first prize. The biggest slice of the 890K prize pool in the 2K Sunday High Rolly Special Edition. You can check out that final table tomorrow, Tuesday, April 6th, at the usual time, 1:30 Eastern, 6:30 p.m. UK time, and 7:30 p.m. Central European Summer Time. But for now, from Tartgen, it's good night from the PokerStars Arena.